Then on the strand, with steeds and treasure, and armor their roomy and ring-dight ship was heavily laden. High its mast rose over Hrothgar's hoarded gems. A sword to the boat guard Beowulf gave, mounted with gold. On the mead bench, since he was better esteemed, that blade possessing heirloom old. Their ocean keel boarding, they drove through the deep, and Daneland left. A sea cloth was set, a sail with ropes firm to the mast, the flood timbers moaned. Nor did wind over billows that wave swimmer blow across from her course. The craft sped on, foam-necked it floated forth o'er the waves, keel firm bound over briny currents, till they got them sight of the Geatish cliffs, home-known headlands. High the boat, stirred by winds, on the strand updrove. Helpful at haven the harbor guard stood, who long already for loved companions by the water had waited and watched afar. Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody. That is right. We are here, and it is time for more Beowulf as we move into April's versions of Beowulf. They'll come to day 6 of Beowulf Age of Heroes with TariToons. We are playing part 4 of the Hermit's Sanctuary. Can Runesild stop the unstoppable monster? We will find out together. But before we go any further, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us. And then I do also have an announcement that I want to make about something very exciting about my book Heretic, which is coming out in the summer. Very excited to talk about that in just a minute. But before we get there, if you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube as well with !ArvTube. And please head over there to watch me over on YouTube as well. That would be lovely. If you have not already done so, hang on one second here. Okay, sorry about that. One little wrinkle today is that the reason I have 2 cats up with me in my office is that our basement is getting spray insulation put in today. And so the guys are spraying foam insulation around my 200-plus-year-old foundation, which is going to help considerably with sealing cracks and making the house a lot more energy efficient. And I am all the way up in my office, which is on the 3rd floor, running filters and with the windows open. And with all that, like I've been told multiple times by a lot of people that I'm going to be fine up here, but that's why the cats are up here, and that's also why it means that I'm going to have to be available to take phone calls here and there if they need to get a hold of me. So I was just answering a house question. My apologies. As I was saying, if you haven't already done so, please follow the channel. Please check out my YouTube. If you're watching over on my YouTube, welcome, and please consider subscribing over there. We are at a new record of subscribers, so please join us over there. It's free to do so, but it definitely helps us out. And it also is going to make it easier for us as we put out a lot of the content that we have available right now. Thousands of hours of content over on that channel. That's with !ArvTube. Will this impact the spray and pray tactic in first-person shooters? I don't think so. I think it'll be more that it's more protective than aggressive. At least that's the theory, Big Boss. That's the concept. So they say. But anyway, so yes, please join me on my YouTube channel. Discord is !ArvCord. We've had some new people join us over there. So please do be one of those people to join us. And Twitter, !Arv tweets, Blue Sky, !Arv sky, website, arvaneleron.com. Financially, !Arv shop for our merchandise area, !Arv Treon is our Patreon. Please support us in both of those places because it really does help the channel, gets cool stuff for the channel, and gets cool stuff for you individually too when you go and support us there, as well as subbing to the channel, which gets you those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. For example, Effect Life, subbing at Tier 1 for 36 months, 3 years. My goodness, 3 years, which also means that Effect Life now has the coveted 3-year sub badge, which Effect Life should totally show off. This is the, let me tell you, not for nothing, you can have all your like trophies and awards and everything else, but when we talk about coveted, we talk about that 3-year sub badge, which is what it is that Effect Life has just gained right now. That's right. See, there it is. You've got that 3-year. Look at that. It's like the gold. So Triffid has the silver. Actually, I think it's the bronze. So Effect Life now is the bronze. Triffid at the 4-year mark has the silver. But yeah, so that's let me tell you, check that out. Woo! That's good stuff. Thank you, Effect Life, so much. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it. So yes, you can do what Effect Life did, and you get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, which is always appreciated. Again, that helps out the channel as well. On the publishing side, ! Icarus for my graphic novel from Athos Arts. There is Arinth with the 3 years, 11 months. Arinth is closing in. Actually, Arinth, you're only a month away from that 4-year silver badge that Triffid is sporting as well. So, but hey, Arinth, good to see you. So, yeah, so ! Icarus, that's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. ! Library is my Tales and Tomes in the Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And ! Greyshade. Now, I'm about to say more about Greyshade in just a minute. I have a blurb that I'm going to be reading. Very excited about this blurb, so get ready because it is a doozy. But that is going to be about my 3rd book, Heretic, in that series. Greyshade and Renegade are already out, award-winning, critically acclaimed. You can get those right now at that link. You can also get the Greyshade audiobook from our very own Trent Sparks at that link. You can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade. Yesterday, the playtest kit for the Greyshade TTRPG for Kickstarter backers went live. We are currently playtesting. We're getting feedback on the forum. Then we're going to use that feedback, and we are going to put out the second playtest document, which we will release to the general public. That's going to be out there, and that will set us up for the final releases, which are going to be coming late this year. I'm very excited about that. The Greyshade tabletop game is going to be amazing. Brandon O'Brien has done an amazing job as the lead designer. Alligator Alley is the company. They will be amazing too. So that's going to be great. So you can pre-order that, and you can pre-order the final book in the series, Heretic, in the Grey Assassin trilogy, which is coming out the summer of this year. That is going through its last stages of layout and editing, and I am going to be reading a blurb about that in just a moment. But yes, so please consider supporting those. And as always, ! BLM, Black Lives Matter. Important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. ! Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And ! Ukraine, Ukraine, to help the fine people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message that we will do so for others in the future. Now, let me get rid of, let me get rid of that, and let me turn on that. There we go. Hello, everyone. I'm wearing my Carpe Diem Seize the Dungeon Master shirt today, and I hope everyone is doing well, and I am ready to read a blurb to you. Now, again, one quick note. Lighting is a little odd today. I have my blinds closed because I don't want it to get too hot up here. I have my window open. You may or may not hear the sound. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but you might hear the sound of my air filter running overtime. That's all because, as I say, we're getting insulation put in the basement down here, so all of that is happening. I may go to a cat cam later on today. We'll see. Right now I have one cat my cat Sherbert is literally sleeping at my feet, and the other cat is currently sleeping in the corner with his head randomly folded up against the corner, which makes no sense. But then cats themselves make very little sense, I've learned, and so that's the deal. Okay, now, this blurb that I'm about to read to you before I introduce Tari, this blurb that I'm going to read to you comes to us from Julie Cherneda. Now, Julie Cherneda is an award-winning and Canadian Hall of Fame science fiction writer for DAW Books and others. Julie has been a highly respected professional. She's a veteran in the business, as I say, award-winning. She's a Hall of Fame writer. And Julie Czerneda has this to say about Heretic. So this is the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy. Quote, Wilson, that's me, wraps up his fabulous The Grey Assassin trilogy in the best possible way in Heretic. There's all the action and wondrous magic you would expect, but so much more. The theme of redemption, of owning your past to build a better future, is front and center, especially for Greyshade himself, lending a depth and compassion to this story rarely found in Sword and Sorcery. I loved it. You will. Highly recommended, Julie E. Czerneda. That is a blurb and a half, folks. So thank you so much to Julie for her kindness in reading this book, for her support and her kind words. But that means something, right? It's a difference between a blurb that's like, Emily and I were joking about this earlier, like, this was definitely a book. There were definitely words. There's a difference between that and saying the theme of redemption is front and center for Greyshade himself, lending a depth and compassion to the story rarely found in Sword and Sorcery. I loved it. You will. Highly recommended. That is good stuff. So thank you to Julie, and thank you, Big Boss. And I have always very much, as I said, my friend, appreciated your kind words about this and your work with the book before. So thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. But that's good stuff. That's that's coming from a peer, and that's kind of a big deal for me. So I'm really, really happy that was the response we got. And so, yeah, Emily is going to be tweeting that out. I will repost it as soon as I get the opportunity to. But those are the kind of things we're going to be putting on the back. We have blurbs coming from other people as well. We're going to end up probably having a good 5 or 6 blurbs. I'm hoping to get some good reviews on this also. I want to send this to every book talker. There we go. I was hoping, see, the time has come. The time has come for Heretic. Yay! That's our command. Although, does it quite fit? Well, although I kind of like it in a way, though, that it's like, I loved it. You will. Highly recommended. That's super great. Yay. So Heretic finally has a command. I'm very proud of this book, and I'm hoping I want to hit every book talker, I'm going to send out an announcement in this in Discord as well, but I really could use everyone's help. If you know anyone, any book talker, any book type, anyone who reads stuff like this and reviews it and has a following of any type at all, doesn't have to be thousands or hundreds or whatever, any of that at all, that would make a big, big difference if you'd be willing to send that along. I would really, really appreciate that. Send me the information, or send Emily the information, or anything like that. Emily E.D. Bell, the wonderful Emily, because all of that would be super helpful to us as we are trying to get the word out about this. I know I kind of miss it too, Triffid, but the time has come, I think so. My daughter has also joined me up here in the office. The kids are home from school this week, so it is my kids and my cats. That's basically what I got up here right now. My kids and my cats. And yes. Oh, he's fine. He's just been asleep. He's just sleepy. He was coming to be pet by you. But that also works. Ganesh is going to come out any minute. He's thinking about it. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much. I just wanted for listening to that, but I wanted to do that. And also I'm going to thank Tari for her patience while I was reading out that blurb. But it was very exciting to me. So I wanted to make sure I read that out. And now I'm going to unmute her and I'm going to head over to reveal. You can see, by the way, my cat right down there, lying right there, just the front half of my orange cat, as my daughter plays as well. And now I'm going to head over to here to reveal TariToons has arrived. Can you send the playtest document to a friend of yours who is DM for feedback? They have not read, blah, 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 blah. You can affect life. What I would say, though, is, so the first sequence of this, yes. I mean, the general answer is yes, absolutely you can do that. One of the things we wanted to do was to get some feedback from the Kickstarter backers, then do another playtest document, which would go out to the general public, and then that'll be the playtest that we then use going forward for other stuff. So that's the only thing I would say. But in this case, sure. I mean, absolutely. You don't need to have read the books either to have gotten something out of this. It's about the tabletop game, which hopefully stands on its own. I would like to think that if you've read it, it also gives you a little bit of, extra... context, I guess you could say, for these things. But of course, more feedback would always be a good thing. More constructive feedback is good. But now I have to thank my friend TariToons for being so patient. Thank you, Tari, and all that.
Hello.
And welcome to back to Beowulf. Tari, how are you? How's life in the universe with you? I know that hay fever has arrived. I'm aware that
Yeah,
hay fever exists.
my
And
nose is
so
incredibly itchy.
I'm sorry about that. It's one of those things where just
Uh,
get off my, I get it. How are you
I have a knife
otherwise
somewhere. I
besides
can
hay
just
fever?
cut my nose off. That should fix it, right?
I think that would be spiting
Um,
your face though. So. Haha, I made a saying joke and it wasn't very funny. How
uh,
are you doing otherwise besides hay fever? And who are you playing today?
I'm doing good. Still experiencing major Metal Gear brain rot from last time that I was here on this channel.
Yep.
I'll try to contain myself. I did finish Metal Gear Solid 5 though.
Okay.
Well, finish as much as you can finish that game. I'm not gonna 100% that game because it's just not good enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
Very mixed feelings on that game.
It doesn't rank
But
among the tops for you?
no, not even remotely. But like, I mean, I already like told you, I think last time in the green room, like that is just so video gamey.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't have the quite the balance you would like in previous Metal Gears, where it's just like yeah. I get it. But
also, like, I listened to a podcast interview with David Hayter, the voice actor for Solid Snake and Big Boss, up to and including Peace Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Who spoke about how like he actually got around to actually playing the game now, Metal Gear Solid 5, despite him not wanting to in the beginning, and he's actually enjoying it. But like, yeah, like it makes sense that like Snake has like barely any lines in that game because of course they can't fucking afford Kiefer Sutherland to stick around to like record a billion lines like it's normal for a Metal Gear game. So yeah, that's why he just says fuck all.
Yep.
In the entire game, which is horrible, horrible, horrible.
He doesn't have the awesome voice. Something that makes it sound a little bit like this. If you've ever listened to Big Trouble in Little China, you'll understand a little more about it. I don't get it. Usually has something trailing off. It's actually it's a cross between that and Bruce Campbell from Army of Darkness. If you mix those things together, like basically Bruce Campbell and Kurt oh God.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, thank you. Kurt Russell's character from Big Trouble in Little China. You combine those things together and it's about that, more or less.
Yeah, no, like the Kurt Russell thing was like obvious because that's like what the character is actually directly based on.
Right.
In Escape from New York, Snake Plissken.
Yeah. But I mean, but it's funny though. I mean, yeah, but it's funny because I think more of it from Big Trouble in Little China though than Escape from New York. I know what they. I know the ones directly thing, but in terms of the voice, I think the voice actually sounds closer in Big Trouble because Snake is just like, I'm quiet, I don't say anything. You know, it doesn't have that like that extra lilt at the end of the voice type of thing. So anyway, but
yeah, I'll take your word for it because I have not actually watched those movies and I wouldn't know where to watch them anyway without like.
You should watch Escape from New York. You would like Escape from New York.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, probably.
It's so ridiculous and goofy. Yeah.
I do like a good goofy film.
It's got Donald Pleasance in it.
The Bruce Campbell thing is like a thing that like now that you said it, it's like, oh yeah, that's like kind of obvious. I had not thought about that before.
Now I swear, the next one of you primates that even touches my, yeah, no, it's great. All my knowledge of Bruce Campbell in terms of that voice mostly comes from Army of Darkness, but you don't really need anything like, you know, whatever, Evil Dead, yeah. But like Army of Darkness was the thing. Like that was the stuff.
Here's the thing, like the Evil Dead is a series called, right? Movies. I did like I only watched them because get this, I played Poker Night at the Inventory. By Telltale Games, which also features Ash Williams. And I was like, wow, this character's really fun. What is he from?
That's a deep cut.
I watched them. And actually, the first movie, Evil Dead 1, was illegal to watch in Germany for like ages.
Really?
Because it was like considered too brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only way anybody would have ever heard of that movie in Germany without having like watched the English version or whatever would have been through Donnie Darko, because in Donnie Darko they watched that movie.
Wow. Well, and
Right?
that's wild. Well, and it just struck me the other thing about Escape from New York, it also has Ernest Borgnine. And I think you're contractually obligated by law to watch any movie that had Ernest Borgnine in it. Ernest Borgnine he's such an amazing character actor. You'll immediately, when you'll see it, you'll go, "Oh yeah, that guy." He's in a bunch of yeah. That's what I mean. He's like in everything. He's great. So, you're the Duke, you're a number one. Oh man, Escape from New York is so good.
Yeah, no, I definitely do want to watch that movie. I just don't know when I will have the chance to actually do so.
Yeah. That's right. He plays Cabby. Exactly, Prince Justin. But anyway, so everyone's here. I thought we were playing Beowulf. No, we're going to talk about 80s, like terrible 80s cult classic movies, okay?
What do you mean terrible? Army of Darkness is great.
No, Army of Darkness is great. No, but these are all movies that are like clearly in the cult classic category. That goes to me with like Krull, which I still think is a great movie.
I still need to watch that too.
You haven't seen Krull? Oh, that's right. We talked about this. Yeah,
we talked about
you are
this.
desperately behind. Okay, if I'm behind in some of my cultural knowledge on certain games, for example, you definitely need to get up to speed on Escape from New York and Krull at the least, because you in particular will like both of those. You will be like, yes.
Yeah, it's just like the thing, like in this day and age of like streaming movies, like unless like the movie is like easily like 2 clicks away,
it
then
shouldn't be that hard though. I think you'd be able to get it. I mean, I don't know what in Germany, but I would think you could even get it on like YouTube with ads or something. I think. I can't imagine it would be that hard.
No, like
to
there
get.
is a way. It just like takes more effort than just like turning on Netflix.
It takes like 4
right?
clicks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. This from someone who has like taken every freaking Metal Gear Solid / How much work have you done on any of your heraldry projects? Like any heraldry project? If you took like 1/100th of that work to click through to get to a video, is what I'm saying. Anyway, we should get playing for the people, Tari. Who are you playing today? The people demand your character.
I'm playing some chick named Runesilt. How long has it been since the last session?
It's been a month.
It's been a month.
Yeah,
having like an entire month is not great, while I'm also like brain rotting from other stuff. Who is she again? Right, Runesilt.
She's searching a monster who's in the island. That's what she's doing. And she found the monster, and there's a big exclamation point. Ring! Runesilt? Okay. Runesilt! Runesilt!
My God, I'm gonna fucking shoot you through the camera.
If you do, you'll run out of ammo.
Oh, no, infinite ammo.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's a deep cut. Not that deep cut. Anyway. My fucking God.
Escape from New York is available through YouTube. Okay. I thought it would be. At least that one would be.
If it's not region locked.
Yeah, that's true. That I don't know. Yeah. It might be. And you're in the Netherlands, though, where they allow everything Germany doesn't, right? Isn't that the case? Isn't it true that the Netherlands allows all things? Somewhat.
I mean, kind of, yeah, actually. that's not wrong.
So there you go. Yes, legally,
well,
dragon.
Not anymore. They did make weed legal lately in Germany.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yes, sort of. It's complicated. I haven't been really following German politics because I've just been spending too much time catching up on Dutch politics because the EU elections are coming up, and everybody watching right now who also lives in the EU, go fucking vote, or I will come to your doorstep and pester you personally.
I will come and pester you. Like, knock, knock. Oh no, I'm here to nag you. Why haven't you voted? Why haven't you voted? Why haven't you voted? Hey, what's up, Deserted GM? We're just introducing our characters slowly as Tari works through Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear and 80s movies. But yes, who are you playing today, Tari?
My God, right. Her name is Runesilt. She is daughter of a knight from the kingdom of Xanten on the Rhine. And she and her fellow compatriots, I don't have my followers document open. I'm going to get that in a second. Have set out towards the North Sea, to an island far away, where they had heard of a troublesome story about people vanishing, and all that kind of fun stuff that you do in adventures. So Runsild, being the go-getter and not caring for consequences type of person that she is, went there and is currently playing detective to hunt down a monster. Wait, no, that happened already. Now the monster is hunting down her. Right. That was the whole thing. Where in the middle of the night we got attacked by some troll type figure.
Continue.
Creature.
I want to make sure the cat didn't just leave because that would be bad. So keep talking.
Greg doesn't want his cat to die from fumes, for context. Oh God, I have notes. Why don't I just look at my notes? There are so many of them, a whole 4 notes for last session, because I can't write notes and play at the same time.
Okay.
Basically, there was like a whole thing where we like found all around the island rune stones and engravings upon a tower ruin that suggested that the creature that is haunting this island was sealed underneath the tower ruins, and that in order to repair the settlement wall, they took stones from those tower ruins and broke the seal in the process. And the only way to harm the creature is it got bigger. Great.
Let's just doing that to scale. Don't worry about
of course. Right, there was like a whole chase. God, like now it's like slowly coming back. Right. So yeah, the seal got broken. What appears to have happened before we got here is that this troll was kidnapping and probably eating people. And then in the night we were attacked at the hall where we were sleeping. And Runsild, being the great hero, selfless person that she is, and totally not a glory hunter or anything, she tried to lead away the troll and get him to drown by running him off a cliff. Which is, I think, where we left it, with a almost cliffhanger. She did not actually hang off the cliff.
That's true, which is new for Tari, because many of Tari's characters do end up like hanging off of cliffs, quite literally.
Yeah, sometimes it's walls, sometimes it's trees.
Yep.
Literal cliffs, not that often, is it?
That well, early on it was in
no, the first time
Adventures.
was on a wall, like on a ruin.
Okay, that's true. Not a cliff.
That was
it was
like
a ruined
when we
wall.
started Adventures in Middle Earth,
yes.
And we were traversing the Mirkwood. That was the English name.
Mm-hmm.
And came upon some ruins with some spiders, I think.
That's right. Yeah, thanks to your inspiration, Trivid. That's right. That is right. And so so let me just make sure about
my nose is so itchy.
But that was a good recap, actually. Thank you, Tari. And I should mention that just because it's important that everybody really know this. Listen.
Yes.
A far-flung isle that mantled rune deep, surrounded by the whale's way, a speck of footfall firmly set upon a blue bright shield, a stone boss boldly sits, battle-battered by billow maidens, ancient bearer of grave and grove. Home of bristle-backed boar, racked by wild winds keening, gulls wheeling screech its scalps, baleful beaked eagles unlock their word hoard. Bitter brine, not balming beer, is lapped by that weird wrought isle. Once a holy held place, a blessing, not bane to honest kin. In hearth of deep-dwelled slaughter, its leavings glut the gray-cloaked wolf, gorges the black raven's bent beak, feast-giver for Woden's greedy birds. Moon-bleached, snow-skinned, shield-breaker, blood-drinker, a pale scabbard for a sword host of battle-bold warriors. Hardened hearth troop wreak their craft. Battle lights sing, but do not sever. Blood embers swing, harmless their hewing. No war sweat stricken from war needles striking. Forge fired, handiwork of smiths have no power present there. Weird unraveled, blades bite dulled. Fates weave woe in warp and weft. It's actually amazing in context how many spoilers this actually has. You wouldn't know it until later on where you're like, wow, that actually really happened.
Oh, it's like the intro sequence of an anime, right? Where
Yes.
where like you have like all of these scenes of like shit that happens later on, and
Yes.
only after like last episode where the opening plays, you like understand. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because of the way they cut it, right? So you're just kind of like, wait, what does that mean? And then you're like, oh, I see what. Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Okay. So the
Just like in one of my Japanese anime.
it's exactly, listen. So
Sorry,
yeah, so
another
everything
Metal
that
Gear reference.
everything that Tari explained is exactly the case in terms of what happened. I'm going to fire up a little bit of Across the Moors, I think, is what happened in our last session. And this monster went flying off over the edge into the water. You can see in real time chat. I know it's an tremendous special effect, as you can see.
Like
it's
when you
sinking
take
into
a gummy bear and put it in a glass of water overnight,
Right.
and then it like expands.
Exactly.
That's what happens with trolls when they fall into the water.
So he went flying over
That's
the
like
edge.
definitely a Beowulf. I read that part.
Yes,
It's definitely in
100%. A gummy Beowulf.
there.
Yeah.
Gummy Beowulf.
Gummy Beowulf. Oh, I'm a gummy Beowulf. I'm a gummy Beowulf. Okay, never mind. If you have children, people will get that reference.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Oh my God. Yeah, deep cuts is right, Big Boss. Okay. Well, speaking of deep cuts, Runesild took a few of these, actually. She and her followers both, as they tried to battle against the monster. And what they discovered was the few things. First of all, this monster was horrific. Not only was it itself literally had like swords and knives and things in the fat of its body that it could draw forth and then throw at Runesild, and did in fact do so on multiple occasions.
What else do you have fat rolls for if not to store weapons?
To store weapons in them, yeah, like that's definitely they're built in for that purpose. We evolved; it evolved to carry weapons in its folds of fat. But not only was that the case, but also seemed to be undefeatable, at least under current circumstances, which means that
current. Like
nice, very well done. Very well done. I was gonna wave that one off, but that's pretty good one. Oh shit! No, he didn't. Okay. So anyway, that was So Runesild realized that she would not be able to defeat the monster yet. There's something clearly that Runesild is missing, and so she barely held on after the monster plunged after her and fell into the water far below. Although Runesild does not seem to think that it's likely that that was the end of the monster, and we pick up here back in the Hermit's Hall. And let me see actually if I can pull up my little map of that. There we go. Oh yes. And he's like, "Hi, how are you?" No, he's currently not, the monster is currently not there, but who knows where he is.
Guten Tag.
Okay. So you wake up to find a group of people looking at you, actually sort of standing over you, looking at some concern. You see Ibn Mundir, you see Yasib there, you see Rick Mod as well, and of course Genevieve, who is sort of closest to you and is kind of looking anxiously into your eyes. You may remember, Tari, that I mentioned that Runesild at the very end of our last session heard one of the people in the island saying, "The thing's cursed, it can't." Frith, I think the builder, "The thing's cursed, it can't be killed." And you heard that just as you lost consciousness completely. So as you come out of it, you can see these people looking over you, and Genevieve sort of anxiously says, "Okay, I think she's coming clear. Can you hear me, Runesild? Runesild." She like taps you gently on the cheek.
Yeah, Runesild like blinks a few times and then jerks upward and looks around like.
And you can see a number of the people there are in the hall, including the old hermit himself and a bunch of the others. And they're all sort of watching you silently. The fire is fairly low, and you are lying on a straw mat. There is a mug of water next to you. And your head hurts. I think it's fair to say your body hurts. You feel bruises all over, but you are alive. And Genevieve sort of leans back. She's been kneeling next to you, and she leans back on her knees and says, Something about the gods keeps you alive, Runesild, but it won't continue. Not if you keep risking yourself this way.
They will keep me alive until I die. It's fine.
And she shakes her head.
Grabs the mug of water and just goop, goop, goop. Dunks it down in like one large sip, basically. I would demonstrate, but my mug is empty.
She and they silently watch as you finish the water. And then Genevieve says, Guys, Ski is outside. He's been standing watch ever since we came back. The hall itself isn't particularly secure, though. And you notice you may remember there were like the holes that were punched in the roof by the monster beforehand. So you can still see, it's definitely nighttime still, but you can see that it's fairly dark outside, meaning that the moon seems to have gone down. And you can just feel the air kind of flowing through the holes in the roof. So you're not sure that it's going to do a whole lot of good for Guy to be standing outside doing watch, but that's his deal. So yeah.
Runesild looks up at one of the big holes in the ceiling and nods sagely. Yeah, I thought a skylight would be great in that spot, actually.
And so there's sort of silence, and then you hear a voice say, "You can still make jokes. You can make jokes at this time, can you? No matter what is responsible. No matter what happens to us." And you look over to see that it is the housekeeper who is sitting on a chair kind of watching you, and her brow is furrowed in a combination of, it might be worry, it might be anger, it might be fear. She says, "That thing can't be beaten, and you've brought it down upon us."
I brought it down upon you. I came here to take care of this monster for you, who was already taking your people. I think I earned the right to crack a few jokes, haven't I?
And she sort of kind of shakes her head and looks away. And Genevieve says, "She's been worried about you and her son ever since you got back," she says quietly.
Runesild looks around. Is the boy also inside anywhere?
No.
Wait, what was his name again? 1 second. It was Edgar.
Yes.
Yeah, Runesild looks around. Where's Edgar?
And there's sort of dead silence. And then Caro says, "He hasn't come back. If I know him, he probably did something foolish, like try to find the place where the monster is. And now he's been taken by the foul thing, and perhaps he's being eaten in quiet. That's what your heroism provided us," she says, her voice kind of raspy and hoarse.
I look outside through one of the holes in the ceiling. Can I tell how late into the night it is?
Hard to say, but since the moon is set, you would guess that it would be like mid evening, like maybe 3 or 4, like heading towards the morning, but not there yet.
What season is it?
It is, I believe, the fall, if I'm not mistaken. I think is what we said.
So a few more hours until sunrise.
Probably.
Where did you last see him?
When he went out to go with you, after the monster attacked, you ran out. You told everyone to escape, and they ran out, and he followed. I don't know what happened to him after that. We came back here. Eventually, there was no place to hide, and we heard that thing roaring in the cliffs, the sound of its voice echoing.
Did you go out to search for him, or has he just simply not come back?
He hasn't come back, and none of us are spry enough to be able to do it. Well, except maybe, and she kind of like, she kind of sort of spits on the ground, and then she says, except I suppose someone like, sorry, as I'm trying to track down the guy's name, who is the last person that I have. Show me the guy's name. I have too many.
Frithgar?
I have too many people. No. Elfnoth, the provisioner, yeah. Elfnoth.
The guy that we locked up.
Right, exactly. And she says maybe he would, if he wasn't as much of a coward as he is. Even Frithgar would go out and do it, but Frithgar wouldn't be able to climb where my Edgar could. And Frithgar, you note now, is sort of standing in his usual impassive way by the dwindling fire, and his arms are crossed, and he says, "That monster is cursed. Won't be able to stop it. Won't be able to save the boy." And Kerno, the housekeeper, the mother, sort of stifles a sob.
How long is it since Runsild last had something to eat?
Probably about
dinner?
an hour, I would think. Maybe 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, she just gets up, gathers her things, and steps towards the door.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as you stand up.
God.
You have taken a major concussion. Not to mention
Oh,
the fact
right.
that you're also
I have
at a level
one
of
hit point
exhaustion.
left.
And a level of exhaustion.
My God.
You're like, I'll just stand up. I'm like, okay. And remember, the level of exhaustion means, let me double check. I think that's, level of exhaustion, I think, is just on, checks, not saving throws. Give me a second. Wait a sec before you roll that. Right, not saving throws. So this is not, you do not have disadvantage on this.
I forgot that I got completely
Smacked.
battered.
Yep. Okay, that's fine.
Mashed
So
into a pulp last time.
you
Barely
do
survived.
sway kind of back and forth a little bit, but you do not fall over. And you are then on your feet. And you note that Genevieve says, "You're not in a state right now to be standing, Runsild. You're barely alive. You see how much blood you have on you? And I know that's not the monsters."
Oh yeah, I guess I lost a few pints, huh? And she visibly looks dizzy, and goes to sit back down again.
Okay.
Like I don't suppose there's like some meat anywhere, like meat with a tea.
Mm-hmm.
Ash.
There is a little bit of meat that's left over, which they're able to bring you. This is also, by the way, a time when you could theoretically use hit dice, because I don't think you've used that yet. That would count as a short rest.
Oh,
So-
I don't have any hit die left. Outstanding.
Well,
What do I have? I have fuck all. Yeah, I guess I have to take a long rest, or nothing is happening.
that's true. That is true. You would have to take, now remember, and I don't think you've had a long rest today, so you could definitely do that. It depends now, and I swear to God, I am not leading you into like, here's, just be aware. But since you're talking about a long rest, we're talking about 5-6 hours worth of time during which you won't be able to go out and look for the boy. I repeat, I am 100% not saying that so that you go, oh crap, I should not rest.
Yeah, but I have 1 hit point
exactly.
left.
Yeah. So you right.
And I watched The Gamers 2 many times.
Yes. 1 hit point is pretty much.
I will be killed by a grilled chicken at this point. So yeah, let's not tempt the fates. And I guess Runzel like eats some, I guess, jerky or whatever they have.
Okay.
And then just straight passes out.
So that would be again for about 8 hours. So first of all, you regain all your hit points.
Is that still a thing?
Say again.
Is that still a thing, like the 8-hour thing?
Yep.
5 eat. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
8 hours of uninterrupted rest.
That's right. So you get all your hit points back. Also, you get half. You get up to half your total number of hit dice. So you would get another. Where your hit die would be returned to you.
1. I'm level 1, so.
Yeah. You'll be happy to know that you have to have at least 1 hit point at the start of the rest to gain its benefits. So you do that. The other good news is that your level of exhaustion is gone. So.
Yeah, I was literally about to ask.
Yep. So that is gone.
Where does it say on the character sheet? I don't think there's a box for that, is there?
Not sure if it's on the character sheet. Okay. So, but otherwise, there is no further attack tonight, which brings the morning cold and chill, the wind blowing across the island. And there is still no sign of Edgar. The housekeeper is still sitting there. You can't imagine that the housekeeper has been sitting there in the chair staring literally at you for 8 hours, but it's quite possible that the housekeeper has not moved around Carno very much. You can tell that her eyes are sort of red and swollen and that she's obviously been crying. Again, no sign of the boy. But Frithgar is still there. Elfnoth is, of course, locked up. And the Hermit comes over to you as you awake. And he says, I know that you have done your best to help us, but it appears that nothing can stop that thing. Perhaps we will all have to leave and abandon this island to its fate. He says this quietly, like he's not trying to, spread the word to everyone.
Did I already ask him about the amulet?
Like
the serpent cross?
I
don't remember.
You mentioned I know you asked him about the symbol. I don't know that you asked him specifically about the details of the amulet, no.
Yeah, I guess then I will do that now.
Okay. What do you want to ask specifically? Just like.
So after he says that, she nods and is like, well, unless we can find the amulet, the serpent's cross.
And he sort of nods slowly and he says, the serpent's cross. That is a sacred symbol. Why would you want the amulet then?
Because I'm pretty sure that this thing is the key to killing that creature.
And he says, it could be. He says, I don't know if we'd be able to find any more. I don't know who would even know where it could be found. I did have it at one time, but it's been lost. I don't know how I lost it.
Wait, no, we did talk about that. And Elfnas said he stole it and lost it when going to the boat, right?
That's right. But the Hermit did not know that, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. No, in that case. So my followers also get a long rest, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Does that mean the spent ones are unspent?
That's a good question, actually. Let me see. I don't know if followers get unspent. Let me see.
there no background music or?
I'm playing it right now, but it's quiet.
Oh.
It's the Across the Moors. Let me turn it up slightly.
The way I can turn it up on my end, just like can't hear anything.
Yeah, in fact, I'll probably let me switch that over to Rainland. Down in Rainland. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Okay, let me just
honestly,
double
it's
check
been
on
like
this.
coming down in buckets since yesterday.
Oh, really?
Jesus
No kidding.
Christ.
We
It's
got a
been
lot of
raining
rain.
through the front door.
We got a lot of rain over the course of the last few days, but it's been a nice day today. Okay, so let's see. Spending followers, right? I just want to make sure about... This is a new rule, chat, in Beowulf about the followers and what happens with them. So... Just give me a second.
Like basically
here.
everyone gets like a special action that they can partake in.
Yes,
today.
followers become unspent when a hero takes a long rest. Yep.
When
Huzzah.
the hero takes a long rest. Interesting. Okay, that's a very important distinguishing.
Very important distinction.
Difference.
Is that what you're
Distinction, that's a word. I can speak English, I swear.
So yes, so they are now available to be spent, which means I will unremove them. Yeah, because
so I will spend them to buy myself a pony and a hamburger.
So Yasib and Guy both get their both return to unspent.
Okay, in that case, Runestilt would instruct all of her followers, not just the followers, also the crew, if that's possible, in like different search parties.
Mm-hmm.
Each party led by one of the followers, to comb the island to look for the boy, for Edgar. And she herself would go down with her party to the beach to look for the amulet.
Look for the amulet. Okay. So when you get down to the beach, you notice a couple of things. The first is that you notice that your ship, the Otter, has had several of its oars are lying snapped in half next to the boat. Now, the boat itself it's still floating. It looks seaworthy. And you can see some of your crew that kind of did not stay. I think you took most of your crew in with you, actually.
I took all of them.
I believe you took all of them, yeah. So the ship itself is still seaworthy, but you can see some of its oars have been snapped in half. You also see over in the area where Elfnoth told you that this could be found, like where he actually stole brought the stuff. There is just a trail of wood leading away from the boat, and you actually don't find the boat that he claimed was there. Your boat is there, but the boat that he said was there, that he had put the stuff in, is no more. But there is a lot of broken and shattered wood, and it leads away down the beach, this trail of wood.
I see. Yeah, we first thoroughly want to search the area where the boat supposedly was first.
Okay, let's have you make an investigation check for me, please.
Combing the desert, like in Spaceballs.
Exactly. And why? For merchandising.
For merchandising. Wait, what do you want me to roll on?
Investigation, please.
Investigation. Get a whole +1 on that one. Cool. So that's a 13.
Okay. So
I find some Lego pieces. And...
Yes. So you do find you don't find anything other than like a bunch of shattered wood. You do find a single silver coin, which might be there. But then, and there's something odd about this, Runesild, because as you look up, you follow the trail of wood, right, and you kind of are following it down the beach. And then there's a spot where the beach gets very narrow, and some of the cliffs. Now, these are not nearly as high as the cliffs that you were hanging on last night. These are much shallower and much less of a slope. But nonetheless, you can see that the wood and this one silver coin leads up in the direction, literally, of the side of the cliff, like just sort of comes up the sand. And then comes to a stop. And as you look up, you can see on the point of this one rock, there's what looks like a tree sort of just sticking out from the side of the rock. You know, the nature finds a way type of thing, like kind of a tree sort of sticking out from the side. And at the top of it, you see something glinting, and whatever it is swinging back and forth at the top of this thing, is hanging off it and glinting.
Outstanding. Yeah, I go closer to the tree.
Okay.
To see what's dangling there.
So it is now hanging. So as you get to the base of the cliff, it is literally up on the edge of the cliff and then out, like the tree is out from the side of the cliff. So you would need to climb up to it or over to it. Like you'd either have to go back around and then like shimmy out on the tree branch because it's like literally out from the side of the cliff, or you need to climb up from here to it.
I'm assuming that one of my crewmates must have an axe of some kind, right?
Yes, I'd say that's fair.
So I would borrow that axe and then would climb up the tree.
Okay.
But instead of climbing onto the branch, I would try to hack off the branch with the amulet.
Okay.
So that they'll
just one quick clarification though. So the tree is literally horizontal, like the trunk of the tree is sticking out from the side of the cliff, as if like the roots have gone this way. So you'd have to climb up the cliff to the tree, if you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. How stable does the tree feel as soon? Like
looks
first
pretty
like
wiry. Yeah, looks kind of like wiry and stiff. Now you don't. It may.
Are you calling Runesild fat?
No, I'm calling Runesild armored. That's what I'm calling Runesild.
So that's the beach episode then, taking her armor off on the beach.
Oh gee, immediately increased internet numbers. Like that'll be the thumbnail for this. Wait, what? Runesild, as you've never seen her yet. So the question is, do you want to climb up and then basically out, because it extends a good distance out from the cliff.
Let me think. How far is like from the base of the tree to the branch that the...
You would guess about maybe 15 feet.
A moment.
Okay.
15 feet in meters.
Oh, I think that's, what is it, like 3 meters to a foot?
4.5 meters.
Oh, 4.5 the other way around. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, one quick note. It's pretty windy now. So as the thing is glinting, you can see part of that is that whatever it is like swinging back and forth and glinting in the light. So.
Heckin' windy. Okay, no, in that case, forget the thing with the axe. Yeah, I guess then, like, she would have been able to judge the distance from down at the cliff, right?
Yes.
Would not have to.
No, you wouldn't have to climb up to do that.
In that case, she would check with her assorted crew members if anybody has a bow and arrow.
I think they probably do. I'm guessing that probably Siebed. Well, actually, Guy might.
Well, like, but the followers aren't around. Like, she, like, specifically...
Oh, right, because she sent them out. That's right.
The...
So you'd have to ask the crew. I think it's reasonable to assume that your crew would have a bow. You don't have any Robin Hoods with you, but any like incredible archers. But you think that probably you could find someone who's made a rough bow and arrow. Yes.
Well, alternatively, I could just throw a spear. That would also work, probably. I'll throw the axe. Sure, axe throwing is a thing. Maybe I can cut the branch off from down here. I don't know how high up the tree is, though.
It's probably a good 30 feet up, you would guess.
So 9 meters. Yeah, is that doable? I don't know. I have to admit I'm not personally very proficient in axe throwing.
In axe throwing, yes. Well, I think the thing you'd have to...
I have done axe throwing before, but that's been like a decade ago, approximately.
The one thing you'd have to take into account here is the fact that you're throwing, assuming you're doing it from the beach and you're throwing up at the tree, then you're throwing up in the wind. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that you'd have to take that into account in terms of like, account for the winds type of thing as you're throwing.
Wait a second. Runsel doesn't give a shit about nature. I just remembered. She's just gonna climb up the cliff and try to yank the entire fucking tree out of the cliff.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Let me have you make a check first then to climb the tree. I'll take
the cliff,
acrobatics. The cliff, sorry. I'll take acrobatics if you have it. If not, just a dexterity check is fine here.
Of course she has acrobatics.
Yeah, naturally.
Wait, wouldn't that be athletics? Doesn't matter. She has both.
I thought about that, but it's not strength here. It's about you actually being able to manage a difficult climb.
I'm just like checking my feet.
A climb which would have been impossible on the other side that you were hanging on last night. Very unlikely. But here, the cliff is not as bad, as I said. I also should have us out of the sanctuary
acrobatics. That's an unnatural 20.
Very nice. Okay. So, yes, you're able to... let me move you over here. Nope. Near the beach.
So far. And now I jinxed it.
Right there.
God damn it.
Yep, that was a mistake. It's all critical fails for you the rest of the night. Okay. So, so you were able to climb all the way up to the base of the tree. So now, if you can imagine, you are now hanging on the cliff below the tree, and the sort of wiry trunk is extending over your head because, you're clinging to the cliff wall, and the tree is over your head. And behind you, hanging, as I said, about 15 feet away, is this thing. And now that you can see that you're closer to it, you can see that it does look like some kind of disc on a leather lanyard that is caught on the edge of a tree branch. And the other thing that's a little odd is that there's also a mass of like sticks and leaves and things like that right near it. Also, like on the end of this branch.
Like a bird's nest.
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, Runsel climbs around the tree on top of it and would properly anchor herself with both her hands and one of her feet into the wall.
Okay.
And try to kick against the tree underneath her to loosen it.
Okay. So sort of like hanging onto the edge of the cliff and then kicking the tree. Okay. I'm trying to think if that's going to
punch it all in the mind.
I would say that's right. So it's not very thick. It is very, however, tough. You think that there's a reason this thing has, the whole nature finds a way, as I said. You think this thing is not going to be kicked out of the way. This is not going to get loose. You might be able to cut it, but you'd have to find someplace to get purchase because it's not right at the top of the cliff. There's a good 5 feet above it to the edge of the top edge of the cliff. So, I guess you could try to go up and lean over and cut, but that's very awkward. You don't have 5 foot long arms. So you're not sure if that would work. But
if she can't kick it loose, then it should be strong enough to hold her.
It might be, yes.
In her head.
Yep.
And if she falls, that's fine. She's fallen from places. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, listen.
What's the worst that could happen? So yeah, she's gonna we're gonna try to execute the first plan A.
Okay, so you're gonna shimmy out
up to the branch and then try to cut off the branch.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you shimmy out to that. This is definitely an acrobatics check to try to stay on this tree because it's windy. So as you're going, and the tree is like.
Do I want inspiration for that? I don't have inspiration. People would need to give me inspiration.
That's true. Is anyone willing to give inspiration? Does anyone have inspiration to try to give to Runesel?
Colonel, I need inspiration.
I need inspiration right now. What's the code? What is it? Oh God, what's the default code to get to the Colonel in Metal Gear Solid? Is 93.85 or something? What's the one that you normally go to the Colonel?
I don't know. They're all saved, so you just have to choose from a...
Yeah, I just don't remember which one it is. Yeah, Prince Justin. Well, listen, Prince Justin, you used it to save the Eberron crew the other day. That's understandable. Wispy, all you have to do is do inspiration -have. Let me see. Also, hi, Wispy. But let me see if you do. Wispy Song does have an inspiration. You do, in fact. I think it's actually inspiration -have, Prince Justin. Sorry. But yes, you do have one, Wispy.
This is my last stream for the month, right?
Yes.
Yes. It is my birthday in 10 days, so Last chance this month to give me my birthday inspiration.
Oh, nice. Birthday inspiration. Oh, thank you, Wispy. It's just inspire, though, not empire. Empire, Tari. We don't want Tari to get an empire.
No?
Tari's already got a cartoon empire. There's no reason.
Nobody wants a German emperor.
That's never gone wrong in the past. I mean, like, yeah.
It's so great the last few times.
There you
Fun
go.
fact,
Thank you, Wispy.
One of the emperors of the Holy Roman Empire was actually Dutch, and he was one of the shortest reigning
Really?
emperors. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I think, well, not even a year or something before he got, like, killed off or something.
I'm the glorious... That's funny.
That's like the only monarchy stories that I like are the ones where the monarch is either batshit crazy, or they just like die really.
They don't stick it out, yeah. You have been inspired by Wispy, so thank you, Wispy.
You.
All right, so yes, so you need to make as you're going out an acrobatics check here.
With inspiration. I did not need that. That's a 19.
A 19.
So since I didn't need it, I didn't spend, right? I'm pretty sure it says so in the rule.
That's not how it works.
Find the rule that goes against what I was just.
Sadly, I'm sorry to say that you did use the inspiration, but nonetheless, you felt inspired as you did it. So as you go out, the thing the thing bends, so it's like, but you get all the way to the end. Now it's very, very awkward, but you think you could cut it off. In fact, you might actually, Runsil, be able to reach it, just like reach out for it, without having to cut the branch.
4 meters long.
No. But the branch. But remember, the tree goes out this way, and then the branch goes out. If you clambered out to the branch, so now it's not that far. Now it's only, I don't know. It's pretty close to you. If you want.
In that case, I guess I would get out my sword and try to like pick it up.
Like kind of hook it?
Unless it's like really in reach where I can actually grab it.
You could probably hook it with your sword.
Yeah, then.
So now you've got your axe in one hand, though, sword in the other. Do you want to like belt your axe or toss the axe down? Watch out below!
No, actually I would toss the axe down. I would like, Obacht! Look out! And then...
You do that.
Chop somebody's head off.
And then as you and you hear this sort of below you hear this thunk as it hits the sand. And so as you reach out with your sword, you hear a keening cry getting louder quickly. And you realize that you are now, as you're reaching for this thing, that you are right below the nests, the trees, the twigs and leaves bundle that you saw before. And as you sort of look and focus on it, you can see there are 2 large speckled eggs inside that array. And there is a very loud, angry sounding cry, rapidly getting louder.
If I recall, you once specified and made fun of me for not knowing how big a raven is in The Lord of the Rings.
I believe that's accurate.
So this bird can't be all that big, I'm assuming, unless it's a magic bird.
That's fair enough. It's not enormous. In fact, first of all, you should tell me if you even want to look or not.
Yeah, of course I would look where the noise is coming from.
Yeah, if you look up, you can see there is a rapidly approaching, and it does look like a black-feathered raven. And it is not huge. It is, however, you can see the light glinting off its quite sharp beak, as it seems destined for your face.
Yeah, so luckily nature, luckily for Runsil, not luckily for the raven, nature protective laws are not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Runsil just braces herself to whack that thing with her sword.
Okay. So let's see. I was going to say, so she's going to whack at the thing of the sword. Are you going to try to impale it as it arrives, or are you going to try to dodge and then swing as it goes by? There are not a lot of great options here because of your precarious position, but...
Well, not stabbing. Too little space to stab.
Okay.
She would swing at it.
Okay.
As soon as it's in reach.
Okay. I would like you to make an attack roll for me, please. You're going to be doing this at disadvantage, though, for obvious reasons.
Oh.
Unless somebody else can inspire you, but I think...
No, that's a 9.
Yeah, so...
Oh, wait, it's a probably has high dexterity, so probably has pretty high AC actually.
Well, certainly higher than that in any case.
I have a feat that gives me plus 50 against angry ravens.
Ravens went out on tree branches. Yeah. I skeptical. I was skeptical. Let's see. I am going to. So you do not hit it. Let's see. It, on the other hand, I think is going to hit you with a 19.
Maybe.
You tell me.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. It's going to do.
I have level 1 gear. Like, what do you think?
I know. Okay, it's going to do 3 points of damage to you. That's not the biggest problem.
Oh.
The biggest issue is I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw to stay on the branch
Oh.
as it claws and pecks at you.
I think I'll take the 11.
I take the 11. So you manage to stay on barely. You kind of find you sort of slip down a little bit. As you slip down a little bit, what you can see now clearly is this amulet. Now that you're this close, with a marking, some kind of a pattern on the disc, you can see that it actually and sort of slips down a couple little branches. So it is now hanging, and as it swings, you can see that the wind is such. This is pretty close to the edge of the ocean. If it gets swung out, it could hit the ocean.
That's going to be fun to look for. So we are getting our beach episode.
It's basically just a new version of Persona. That's all this is. This is the Persona episode.
Persona.
Oh, I thought you would have been
beach
about that.
Beach episode is like a standard thing in anime.
No, I know. It's like a big thing in Persona too. They have a
thing in
beach part
Marvel
in that
comics.
too.
That's how ubiquitous it is.
That's true.
And
so the thing goes, and the thing then sails by, and then basically like wheels around. You probably have a turn during which you could. Well, there's multiple things you could do. You could try to grab the amulet and then. I don't know, you could grab the amulet and then drop. You could grab the amulet and then toss it down on the beach. You could try to, clamber back onto the cliff, like somehow, and clamber back. I mean, it depends on how you want to manage it, but it looks like you'll have a turn to kind of prepare yourself one way or the other with whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, so I think dropping myself down is probably not the smartest idea, because I'm... having been to many North Sea beaches in my life, those things are not soft at all.
I can imagine.
Those things are really hard, actually.
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable. So what's the bird doing right now?
It's circling. So it's circling around. So it did its pass and like hit you, and now it's like coming back around. You looks like you might have a turn before it arrives to do something else while it's making its turn.
Oh, but right now it's out of reach, right?
Yes, it hit you and went past.
Okay, good.
You could throw something at it, I guess.
I tried to grab the amulet again.
Okay. So let me have you make a dexterity check here, or again acrobatics, same thing as we've been talking about.
I'll take acrobatics, thank you.
Okay.
That's a 9.
And it slips down a couple more branches. Now it's just hanging on. And now the bird has closed again. So now you have a choice to make. You can grab the amulet. Doing so means you won't be able to defend yourself against the creature's attack. Or you can try to swing, but if you swing against the thing and miss, or if if it hits you, or, there's all kinds of things you'd have to think about, so...
Like my place in the universe.
Yes, like your feelings about your mortality. Yes.
I swing at the bird.
Okay, attack roll, please. This is again disadvantage.
17.
17 does hit. Go ahead and roll your damage for your
avatar broken. Yeah.
For your sword, which is
damage.
Probably one. I don't know. You tell me. Like, 10. Yeah.
You
just absolutely you absolutely destroy it. You actually decapitate it, and it goes flying down. You hear cries coming from within the eggs. No, I'm just kidding. You don't hear that. And so it plummets. And as it does so, the amulet shifts further. So now it's just barely hanging on by the smallest of twigs. Okay.
Well, I attempt to grab it.
Yes. Again, dex or acrobatics for this. But this is at not a disadvantage, it's an advantage. Or rather, this is just like regular, I should say. 22. All right.
I grab it and I do a beautiful somersault down the cliff and stand there.
Well, okay, I was going to say. So you do grab it. Now you're like holding on, and this thing is like the tree sinking under your weight.
First of all, rude. Second of all, I...
Armored weight. Oh, I guess that's true. You took your armor off, but still.
No, she didn't.
Oh, she didn't? Well, then you got nothing to complain about then.
And yeah, chain armor is actually really fucking heavy. Source, I have actually worn chain armor. Because of course I have. There's this really cute photo of me when I was like 12, maybe, with my grandpa, where I'm wearing chainmail and he's like holding like a larp sword to my neck, pretending to slit my throat.
I imagine leather is
classic,
like leather armor is probably
granddaughter.
No, yeah, of course, the classic. I imagine leather armor is not as bad. I would imagine because you don't have the metal. But anything I would think would, like regular leather armor with like say like a leather breastplate and things like that wouldn't weigh you down.
Breastplate?
Yeah, like a leather. Well, okay, that's not what they call it, but like the frontispiece, you know what I mean, like the chest piece. You could make that out of leather, like kind of a thick boiled leather.
Useless.
No, thick boiled leather? No, it wouldn't be. Sure, it wouldn't be like, I mean, again, like not nearly as much as metal, but it wouldn't be as heavy. I was just thinking that anything metal is going to be likely to be heavy, even though I've never worn chainmail myself. But
chain is very heavy.
Okay.
Very heavy. Also very annoying to put on. Especially if you have long hair. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I can't imagine.
Yeah. So. I try to get back to the cliff.
Okay.
Before the tree gives out.
Let's see.
Don't want to
do. How do you want to do it? Do you want to try to clamber back?
How do I want to do that?
Carefully.
I decapitate the tree.
I was wondering if you get a critical role moment in there. Yeah, no. I was wondering if you wanted to like speed your way to the like. Do you want to try to jump almost the rest of the way to the cliff, or rush it, or like try to slowly clamber back, etc.? Thank you, Emily.
Because like the G forces, which is certainly something that Runzel knows about, probably make the tree break off, and also like just balancing back over.
Okay.
Like, step.
Then acrobatics for me, please.
God. 18.
18 is just enough. You get back over to it, to the edge of the cliff, holding on. Did you put the amulet around your neck, or did you have it like between your teeth type of thing?
Oh, she's like holding it in one hand.
Or just holding it. Okay. All right.
And then like as soon as she's like, well, I guess she would have like jammed it into one of her pockets as soon as she grabbed it.
It's up to you.
Wait, what is she wearing again? I have nothing to wear. She has no pockets. I guess she would like just have like jammed it into her belt, basically.
Okay. So that you could definitely do. So you get back onto sort of the cliff and then sort of slowly lower yourself down. And by the time you get down, you find yourself at the bottom next to the decapitated, raven, by the way. And I will show you.
Oh, I forgot to grab the eggs. Could have made omelet.
What you see. Okay.
Now I'm curious what raven eggs taste like. I totally have not been watching Dungeon Meshi or anything. No.
Not in the least.
What does the ogre taste like?
I'm trying to find you a good picture, although I think these are all basically the same. Okay. Let's copy that. And then let's paste that. Let's crop that. Save as. Let's go up out of there. Go into here. Okay, and... Okay, I will put this up on stream. So, what you see is...
And Twitch locked me out again. It is really quite annoying.
Here we go.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Need to relog into Twitch. And now show me ads again. Lovely Dutch ads. It's like really weird. The Dutch language has some very odd loan words from German, like überhaupt.
Mm-hmm.
And it like really fucking throws me off every time. Oh, I guess it shows me in like the little thumbnail. So it's not the fucking thing I was looking for, huh?
No, you think it might be. It is, so it's this disc of what, like sort of aged bronze, and there is the symbol of crossed lines around it, and you can see that it is interwoven with what look almost like serpents. And in the center of it, there is a red gem, probably a garnet or something like that. There is, in fact, no hole that has been drilled in it, but it's lashed about with this leather thong, basically, that's lashed around the outside of it. So this leather strap, basically, like a string, like a leather string.
So it's not actually an amulet; it's a coin that has been like.
Maybe that's right, but it's big though. I mean, like it clearly has been used.
No,
you
like
would guess to be for that thing.
It's like a thing that wasn't like originally
Right,
designed
exactly,
to be worn
exactly.
on the neck.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. You would have to decide, what it's like. I mean, it's except that it looks very similar to the symbol that you've seen in several other places on the island on various stones and rocks and things like that. It's very similar to it.
I have imagined the Serpent's Cross to look completely fucking different. I had more like something along the lines of like the rod of Asclepius.
Yeah. Right.
In my mind, something more along those lines.
No, this is more like a cross between like a Celtic cross and just multiple interweaving serpents and lines.
It's clearly an Anglo-Saxon design. Gregory, have you not done your homework?
No, I believe it.
No, let's not get into that. Like this thing here that I printed out and taped to my notebook.
Ooh, look at that. That's cool.
Yes. So I'm back down on the beach, right?
Yes. So now you're down the beach and you're holding this thing.
Yeah, I want to thoroughly study this thing, including the backside, if there's like anything else of note here. For example, since it seems to not have been originally designed to be an amulet or like a necklace anyway. A pendant. Does it like look as if like, especially like at the edges, as if they're like scratches or dents, as if like this thing might have been originally part of something else and then was pried out?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So like what I'm like the first thing that my mind went to is that like this thing might have been part of something else originally, like an inlay or something.
Yeah.
And does it like look like it has been pried out of something?
It does not actually look like that. In fact, the back side of it, it does look quite old. The back side of it looks weathered and like there are little sort of gouges and things like that in the back. But it does not look like it was pried out of anything that you can tell. Partly because, as you can see, like there's that rim around the outside of it, kind of that like almost looks like a branch of some kind that's around the outside of those snakes and so on. And that does not look like, it doesn't feel like there's any marks underneath of some place where there was fastening or anything on the other side of it. You don't know. I mean, the leather strap or whatever, the leather thong is not nearly as old as this item is. The item you think is quite old. You'd have a hard time figuring out just how old. The leather strap is much newer. But other than that, it has a kind of odd, not just weight, but a coldness to it. Like even as you feel it, it's sort of this sort of metal feels particularly cold in your hand. Not like uncomfortably you're going to freeze, but like it very much is not. It doesn't seem like it's something which would be warmed by the sun.
So I don't know jack shit about metallurgy, but copper, right, is
bronze.
I think really heat inductive. So I'm assuming bronze is too.
Yeah, that generally would be the case. Know. It would warm up a little bit more than this is definitely doing. Yes. Now again, I don't mean to say that like it has an ominous feel, but it definitely seems quite dense, I guess might be a way to describe it, and has more weight to it than you would expect, even though it is a good-sized coin. But we're talking like quite good-sized, actually. I will give you a size comparison.
Banana for scale. Is that a...
It's like a water bottle cover. It's a water bottle cover.
Oh, water bottle. Okay, yeah. Sure.
So like that
thank you for reminding me to drink water. Refreshing.
Nice, Emily.
So, right. So I hang this thing around my neck and stuff it underneath my tunic.
Okay.
And I guess we would be heading back up the in direction of the tower. So we would be passing the tower anyway, going to the...
Yes, if you go back to the steps that lead up from the beach, yes.
So like we would like check there, because like one of the search parties she would have sent out would have been going to the tower, since that's where we first met the boy anyway. So
okay.
Right? Like when we first arrived here, he was like sitting in like the little...
He was sitting in a little hut. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So okay. So I will move this. I will reduce the size of this a little bit so we can see. All right. So you are moving your person back up, moving Runesild back up. So like over here-ish, right?
Yeah.
As you're coming up. Okay. So as you come up to the come up the steps, you can see that the hut appears to be empty. But out front of the tower, your follower Guy is standing, and his face looks grim, although his face always looks grim. So
I was about to say
constantly grim.
What else is new?
Repeatedly grim. Yes.
Yeah, she walks up to him. Anything to report?
And Guy sort of jerks his head over his shoulder, and he says, "Found something."
Oh, great. What?
And he turns and he walks with you, assuming you follow him.
Yeah, of course.
And he walks over. He's accompanied by a couple of your crew members, too. And so he brings you over to here on the map. Let me just move that like that. Oh, it's not. Hold on. I gotta move it on OBS. I can't quite move it over enough.
I believe in you. You can do it, Greg.
It's my third 75th window. Okay. Right. If I do this, and then move that, then that should go like
shiver.
That. Okay. Further. Stay on target. Okay. There we go. Like that. Hey, that's clear. Okay. So yes, so if you want to move your token up there, Tari, that's where you're brought.
Oh no. Okay.
And so Guy sort of peers over the edge as you come up to him. He peers over the edge, and then he's looking down, and he sort of points down the cliff. So you can't see what he's looking at immediately, but he's like pointing down over the edge of the cliff.
I look down.
So when you come up to and look down, you can see that what looks like Edgar's tunic that he was wearing is fluttering in the breeze, caught on some scrub brush about halfway down the cliff wall. Just his tunic. You don't see anything else.
Extremely odd.
Yeah.
Wait, how far down is it?
Maybe 25, 30 feet.
I guess, like, unless this cliffside looks particularly climbable, she would fashion like a makeshift hook out of like a rope and one of the arm rings that she got.
Okay.
To try and hook onto the tunic and pull it back up.
Okay. Let me have you make a dexterity check for this.
Now here's some proper point-and-click adventure action.
Yes.
I use my rubber chicken with a pulley
Yep.
with tunic.
That's not going to work here. That's not going to work here. That's not going to work here. I'm just thinking about every experience I've ever had with point-and-click
Oh wait,
games.
what did you want me to roll?
A dexterity check
Dex
again.
check.
I know it's been a lot of dex checks, but that's been kind of the nature of what you've been doing.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Dex
Yeah.
is my best stat. That's a 12.
So, as you were able to get your sort of hook around it, but then as you pull up, it sort of slips off the hook, and you can see it's fairly stuck down there. But because you tried to make an attempt, I'm going to allow you to make a perception check here for me at advantage.
At advantage?
Yes.
Oh, we love that.
Well, it is your birthday in 10 days.
Advantage. Bleep bloop. That's a natural 20, baby.
Wow, you didn't even need that. I
see
retroactively
everything.
remove advantage. No, as you're looking down, you're like, trying to pull the thing up, and then it slips off, and it's like really stuck down there. But as you look down and you sort of peer through, again, it's a little bit hard to see. The wind is whipping, your hair and everything. But as you look down, you think you can see.
Wait, the wind isn't like doing anything to my hair. I'm wearing a helmet.
Well, the wind is whipping your helmet. No, it's like
she does
super
have, like,
windy.
The crest on her
That's true. She has the
helmet,
crest.
just, like,
That's
this long
fair.
blue braid.
But more, I think it's that there's sort of dust and so on from the surrounding cliffs that is sort of blowing. It's a little hard to see. But as you look down, you can see through that right below where the branch is that's holding the tunic, you can see there are some. You think there's maybe a ledge down there, and as you look sort of up further, you can see that there are more ledges, perhaps even steps that are very narrow, but they're sort of like up the wall of the cliff, and you wouldn't have been able to see it unless you were looking directly at them. They almost look like they're carved out of the cliff wall itself. So it's very narrow. It's almost like a half step, and down that extends all the way up and over to the left of your position. So you have to like look over to the left, and then you can see where you think there might be a spot that you could actually place your foot and then walk down this almost secret staircase, although it would be a precarious thing down there. And the thing you were trying to get, the tunic, Edgar's tunic, is hanging above one of those stairs, those steps.
What did I say about this cliff looking like it's particularly easy to climb?
Yeah.
Like,
secret stair.
The fates have planted this concept in
Yes,
indeed. Brain. Yeah, in that case, right. I'm going down then, and she like puts the rope back up, takes a ring off the rope, and then puts the rope around her wrist, like makes a loop basically.
Okay.
And hands it to her men, just like, here, hold onto this in case I slip. And then she would make her way down.
Okay. So the stairs are quite slippery and narrow. Slippery because of the sea spray, and narrow because, because they're narrow. And so as you make your way...
No, not because they're broad.
They're also rounded, by the way. You wonder, like, slightly rounded. You think maybe, like, time has eroded the edges of the stairs or whatever. So it's not a super easy path down. So I need you to make a dexterity check here on the way down these stairs.
17.
Yeah.
God, I'm so fucking glad that I went was putting all my steps, all my points into decks. Like, Jesus. Like I get a +7 on acrobatics.
That's
yeah. Like
Suddenly
that's
you come to the
you come
to the cave and there's like 3 boulders in the way. It's like, God damn it! Make us. I parkour over the boulders. Okay. All right. So.
Well, strength is not terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough.
Wisdom
okay.
though.
you come all the way down to below the tunic, where the tunic is hanging, and suddenly you can see why it didn't seem obvious to you from where it is, because there. Shoot! I accidentally came out of. Wait a second, chat. I accidentally exited Roll20. 1 second.
Is it known Russian for you?
My music stopped. Yeah, I know, right? My music stopped, and I'm like, wait. Okay.
Like, guys, earlier in the green room when I was opening up Roll20, for some reason it was set to Russian, and I didn't know how to.
It's really strange.
Yeah, and then I refreshed it. It was set to German.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So, what I was going to show you was you can see something below the tunic, and I'm going to show you what that is.
It is a perfectly healthy and alive happy boy.
Right, and he's like, "Hi, I've been waiting for you." No, that is not accurate. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to show you on stream here. Okay. Below the level of the tunic, you can see this. It is the entrance to a cave.
Yesterday when
your trouble seems
Edgar
so far
was
away.
Giving,
yes.
When Edgar was giving Runsild a tour of the island, like the only cave entrance he showed her was the one under the tower, right?
That's right. But he did. You may remember that he did mention that there were others.
Yeah, but he didn't show them.
That's right.
To her.
He did not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. She shouts, like, looks up. It's like, hey, there's a cave down here.
And as you look into it, by the way, and Guy sort of like looks down. I'll tell you what Guy says in a minute. Now, Runsild, you are, of course, you know, laugh in the face of danger, you know, that type of thing, right? I mean, you're not, you know, thrown off by danger. But even you, Runsild, sort of here, sort of staring into this cave mouth, feel this palpable sense of fear. There is a kind of stench which emerges from it, and you can feel this sort of fear just sort of rolling out from the cave. It is dank and damp and dark there. You can see, because of the light from the outside, the inside illuminated, but it is this does not feel like you are not comfortable in this place for certain. And
no, not comfortable hanging off a cliffside with a lot of wind and sea spray going on.
That is exactly right. That's fair enough. But this looks to you, I should say, by the way, this does not look like it is a cave that has been worn away naturally by, you know, time and tide and all that. This looks like it's been fashioned, this cave, created.
Yeah, on the way down, first of all, she would have grabbed the tunic.
Okay.
And, like, basically tucked it into her belt. Does she get like a spot to properly stand on down here?
Yes, the lead, yeah, because it extends into the cave, so at that point you can like be off of the spray covered, you know. It's still damp in there, but it's plenty stable at that point. Yes.
So first of all, she would like properly listen in and look into the cave to like determine if like any signs of life or whatever are there, coming out of there.
Let's see. Give me just a second whilst I find. How about nope. Go away. There we go. I think. Hold on a second. Perfect. Love it. Exactly what I wanted.
What am I supposed to hold on to?
Okay.
Table.
Now we can... Yeah, exactly. I don't have anything to hold on to. Okay. Should be able to hear that sound, I think.
Oh, the rain stopped.
The rain... Yeah, well, yes, outside.
No,
And
like
sound...
the actual rain.
Oh. I was like, wait, what? Okay. Well, I was about to say it's a good thing. It's a good thing you bring that up. It's a good point that you mentioned there, Triffid. The stairs do look far too narrow for the monsters that you saw to have climbed down on the stairs. But if they were handholds, like a beast using them as like essentially a ladder, it would have to have big claws to do it, but probably would be nice and comfy.
Of course, like this monster with its tiny, dainty baby hands would never be able to. Right? Right, Greg?
Let's take a look at the tiny baby hand.
Like tiny baby hands.
Right. I just want to make sure we're clear, chat, on the tiny baby.
There are no
hand.
hands in this picture.
You can't see it, but actually its hands are small hands. Trump-style hands, like that. That's small.
I was trying not to make
I know.
Yet here you
You mentioned a monster, so I was like, well. Anyway, so, yes. And so...
No, that's just rude to the monster.
That's true. It's very unfair to the monster. So Guy makes his way down. A couple times, Guy slips as well, but you feel like Guy's life is not going to end with him slipping off of a wall. Like, it just doesn't fit him. He's too steady somehow. And when he gets down to the bottom, he looks in, and as you're looking at his eyes, you can see they slightly widen. And then he sniffs the air, and he says, "Not a good place."
Yeah. So, as I look into what do my elf eyes see?
What do my elf eyes see?
My human eyes see.
So when you step inside...
Technically,
Yes.
part mermaid eyes. Wait, did I reveal that to the viewers yet, that I'm part mermaid? I don't remember.
I don't...
Well, there's it is now. She's part mermaid.
She's part mermaid. So, actually, this
That is
is
not
totally...
a joke. She's actually part mermaid.
Yeah, no, when you step inside the mouth of the cave,
Well, she wouldn't get inside.
No, I'm saying just inside, like just out of the rain and the ledge, basically. So you're not like running down. The sound of the sea recedes suddenly, and all is silent and still. And there's just that slow dripping that you can hear all around you. The dripping also seems to be louder down the hallway, and there is, in fact, a long tunnel leading from here into the darkness. And you can see that it's kind of like there's this, again, like stalactites and stalagmites, from floor and ceiling and so on. And it's a damp kind of cave, slimy. There might be some moss on some of it as well. But it is quite damp, and it is a long tunnel.
Cool. Right, do I notice anything like tracks of any kind of sort?
I would like an investigation check, please.
Just waiting for that. Wait, I don't have. That's a 19, baby.
You do think that there are some tracks that are visible here. Some of them are
vaguely child-sized.
Well, yeah, I was going to say some of them are very large, and they are sort of, one of them looks like it might even be 4-toed as opposed to 5-toed, but it's very, very large. And then there is something that is sort of like a long scrape along the dampness of the tunnel, like in between the two the tracks that you see from this very large whatever it is, as if it were dragging something down the hall.
Oh,
no childlike tracks.
Okay. Right, I think the smartest thing to do here would be to go back up. So yeah, she would leave the cave again and start climbing back up.
Okay.
To rendezvous with the rest of the guys. And then tell some of her crewmates to go fetch the other groups. And everybody to meet back up at the hall.
Okay.
ASAP.
All right. They go to do that, and before too long, you find yourself back. Let me just move over here. You find yourself back in the hall, hanging with your followers and the like. Okay. Yep.
Right. So I'm assuming the boy hasn't miraculously shown up here in the meantime. Yeah.
And his mother, Kalo, seems like doesn't even look in your direction when you come in.
Is Egbert here?
Yes. Egbert is here along with Frithgar.
Okay. So while we wait for like all the other followers to come back in, Runsild would show the amulet to Egbert. It's like, hey, recognize this?
And Egbert's eyes widen. He says, "Oh yes, well that's it. You found the serpent's cross. That is what we were. That's the amulet. But I where did you find it though?
I killed a bird for it.
A bird? A bird has taken it?
Seemingly.
Frithgar rumbles. What kind of bird?
A raven.
And Frithgar kind of looks at Egbert and they exchange glances. And Frithgar says, "It's bad luck to kill a raven."
Cool. Not where I'm from. So, she really does not give a shit. How do I use this thing? Is there like a spell or something that I have to recite? I don't know.
And Egbert says,
so like shake it, and she starts shaking it.
And he sort of like looks at you as if you've lost your mind. Like, what do you? No, you don't need to shake it. And then you hear a voice from next to the hearth say, "There's no need to shake or move that thing. It will give you what it can, but it will not sustain you by itself." And you look over to see Rickmod is there sitting in a chair by her knees sort of drawn up by the fire, almost like a child. And her eyes are glinting as she looks into the ashes of the fire and is poking at them with a stick. And she says, "The serpent's cross is powerful. It may make it possible for you to defeat the beast, but it will not save you from the thing's claws. You may end up finding yourself just as dead, even though now you can damage it with the serpent's cross."
I see.
And Frithgar and Egbert sort of look over at her silently, but they don't object to the characterization.
So I just wear it, and that makes it so that I can hurt the beast?
And Rickmod says, "You might be able to hurt it. Whether you can kill it, that is up to the gods and you."
Does that mean that only I can hurt it? Or can everybody else hurt it too, so long as the amulet is close by?
I don't know enough to say, but the magic of the thing is obvious.
Have the other ones shown up by now?
At this point, your other followers would have come in, yes.
Okay. Yeah, she would have, like, made sure that everybody knows about the amulet and the cave entrance.
Okay.
And the tracks that she found. And also the tunic that she found. And it's like, so...
When you mention the tunic, by the way, Caro kind of sits up straight and is just like, because you brought it with you, right?
Yeah.
And she says, can I see that?
Yeah, she hands it over.
And she takes one look and then just starts, rocking back and forth holding it. My boy, my boy.
Okay. Carol, listen. There's no blood or anything on this, is it?
No.
She would have checked beforehand.
That's right. No blood. So look at this. It's like a massive cut and like stab wounds. Like here you go.
We have not found a body, okay? We don't know that he's dead. We just know that he lost his tunic, okay?
She just rocks back and forth, keening to herself quietly.
So, and then she like turns back to everybody else. What I would have liked to do here is to wait for nightfall, because I'm assuming the beast is gonna come back to the surface, and then we all jump it together. However, considering that I think that the beast currently holds the boy captive, we should go after the beast ASAP, because I am not confident that by nightfall the boy will still... And she doesn't even finish her sentence.
And there's...
Let her sentence Peter into silence.
Yep. And a dead silence sort of follows your suggestion. And after that, there's a few, feels like a good 30 seconds maybe. And then Frithgar says, even with that thing, there's no guarantee you'll be able to defeat it. I told you it's cursed.
And then she starts talking logistics. Okay. I want most of you to stay at the hall here. A small group of you to come with me to the cliff. Guy and Yassib, you two are with me. We are gonna go into the cave. And I want another group to be stationed at the something to come out of there.
And your followers nod, and Guy, is just sort of grunts his approval as per usual. And as you all sort of gather up in group, you hear from a room nearby, "You're never going to find what you need. The thing can't be stopped." Sounds like Elfnoth's voice.
Somebody fetch that guy, please.
And so they do. One of your crew bustles off and brings him out, and you can see he's kind of haggard, and his face looks tired, like he hasn't slept for a while. And he says, "So, you're going to make your way to try to deal with the monster? Think that you're better than him, do you?"
Yeah.
Well.
Not a hint of irony in her voice.
Yeah. Yes, basically.
Yeah, of course.
She's like,
Doy.
Yeah, exactly. And he says, "I've heard people say that before. Great heroes that come to the island. They're all great heroes until they face the truth. I've seen the size of that beast. I've seen what it can do to people. Now you're going to fight it? Good fortune to you." And Caro, in particular, has stopped her keening, and she kind of looks up and over at him and says, "If you had been more clear about this than wanting to steal or save your own skin, Elfnoth, maybe we wouldn't be in this position." And Elfnoth...
Oh, that's an incredibly good point, actually.
And Elfnoth sneers at her. "Maybe if you weren't such a fool, you might have seen this earlier on, Caro, or let your boy wander around the island without anyone to watch him." And Carol looks like furious, like just,
So, Runsild, I'm like, she would have like stood like, let's say for the sake of the scene, she would have like stood basically sort of behind.
Okay.
Carol.
Okay.
That Carol would have been standing between her and, what's his name? Elfnas.
Okay.
And she would like walk up to Carol, put a hand on her shoulder. You make an excellent point, actually. Elfnas, you are coming with us.
Me? Why?
Yes,
What am I
you.
supposed to do?
You know, support us. Show us the way.
You just want to
You
use
said,
me
like,
for
no, but,
fodder
like,
to
the
feed to your
previous-
monster.
No. You said that previously none of the heroes were able to defeat this creature because you weren't with them. So you are coming with us, since you know you are suggesting here that you are a critical part in taking this thing down.
Make an insight check for me, please.
Oh god, a natural one! There goes my karma.
He's like, he just looks at you and you're like, yeah. He's like, he just is silent at your comment.
You have two good hands. You can hold a sword or a spear. And she waves one of her crewmates over. Here, hand this man a spear.
And they do, as always. A spear just, shows up.
Yes, exactly.
And he takes the spear and kind of looks down at it in his two hands. And he says, you know I'm not a fighter. You can give me weapons. But if you push me into the front line, I'll be dead within seconds, and I'll have done you no good.
You're still coming with us? Like, this is not up for discussion, my guy.
He grunts and then says, hold on, I have to talk to my mother-in-law. 1 second.
I think this is gonna take a while. I suppose I should entertain y'all. God, it's like so difficult for me to like switch out into game mode, basically. So, oh yeah, I guess I can talk about the mermaid thing. So basically, something that Runesilt herself does not know is that her mother was one of the river mermaids. There's like many stories, old stories about mermaids living in the Rhine, the River Rhine. For example, the one that I named my cat after, Lorelei. So basically, the idea is that her father, who was a knight at the court of the king of Xanten, had a love affair with a mermaid and then vanished. It is not clear if he died, if the mother drowned him, if he got turned into a mermaid himself and is now living at the bottom of the river happily with his wife. Unclear. I doubt we will ever find out as part of this game because unless it's very neatly wraps into a part of the plot of one of the adventures, which I doubt it's gonna. But yeah, this is all part of the thing because one of the, I think it's a character background, one of those things as part of the rules is Fey the quirk, that's what it's called per rules, is Fey ancestry. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed and magic can't put you to sleep. And I interpreted this as her Fey ancestry coming from having a mermaid mother. So yeah. Also just a thing that I like to do with characters, like Fey ancestry kind of stuff. Fey touched in regular D&D, for example, one of my favorite backgrounds to have for characters. So yeah. Another example for Rhine mermaids would be in the Nibelungen legend. There is 3 mermaids who Hagen von Tronje, the great antagonist, or one of the great antagonists of the story, the main great antagonist, I guess. He what was I saying? God damn it. Oh, Hagen von Tronje, he encounters 3 mermaids. When, like, in the later part of the story. After the hero, Siegfried, died. Well, he killed him. And, like, many years later, Kriemhild got remarried. And now lives at the court. She got actually married to King Attila. You know, Attila the Hun. He was like invited to the court, and on the way he's supposed to bring the Rheingold, the dragon sword, the magic treasure of the Nibelungen, along with him. And as part of this journey, he dumps the gold into the Rhine, and the mermaids take the treasure and hide it. And to this day, nobody has found the treasures because the mermaids are just hiding it so well. And yeah, people have been looking for that treasure. It's like one of those things. One of those legendary treasures that people want to find. You know, like, think of it a bit like, what was it called? Like the City of Gold, for example, in South America. What was it called again? El Dorado. That was the name. That kind of stuff. They're very famous beloved legend. Where I'm from, we'll find a lot of like businesses named after it. Like Rheingold is such a common business name in my home region. Which, now that I think about it, is kind of a bad omen. Like, why would you name yourself or like your business after something that got drowned in a river, never to be found again? You know, does not speak well for future business. I've never heard the name Cibola? 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 I don't know how to pronounce that. Kibola? Or El Dorado. Seven Cities of Gold. Let's see. The Mist of the Seven Cities of Gold, also known as the Seven Cities of Cibola. Cibele? Cibola? I don't know what the upside down E is pronounced as. Popular in the 16th century and later featured several works of popular culture. Oh, that's not actually South America, it's Central America, I guess. Pardon. So yeah, it's like kind of along that line. You know, people trying to find the legendary treasure. They did dig up some things that were considered to potentially have been
Sorry about
Rheingold. Hello.
Hello.
We were talking about ancient treasures.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, apologies. I'm going to be doing, as I said, that's going to happen more than once today, chat, because I've got people installing insulation in my basement. So we have a whole setup here. Okay, so anyway, where were we? So you had just told
Mermaids.
everyone to say again.
Oh,
you were talking about mermaid. You were talking about your backstory.
Yeah. Like this little mermaid here. Hey, Lorelei.
Hello, Lorelei.
Yeah.
I don't want to bother mine. One of mine is in the corner, and the other one is up in the window.
Well, cats don't get to decide if they want to be bothered or not. They get bothered anyway. That's their job.
Is that how that goes?
Bothering cats.
I see.
Okay, do we? No, we were talking logistics about attacking the monster, and then Alfnas was like, "Yeah, you can't put me on the front line. I'm a frail little boy. I will go dead."
Sorry, I gotta pick up again. Okay.
Couldn't hear him over all this whining. Right. Okay. Where were we? City of Gold. Oh yeah, right. They did actually manage to find a few treasures from the Rhine, where they were like, "Oh, was this the legendary Rheingold?" And it tends to be like various collections of presumably looted treasures that like locals looted from Roman invaders. Mainly stuff like household items made of gold, like cutlery, cups, plates, that kind of shit. Like gold and silver. And like there's like all of these weird theories about how, oh yeah, like the Nibelungenlied was actually about the Roman invasion. Which of course makes no fucking sense when you think about it. Because like the idea is that like, oh, like the legions represent, like the dragon represents the legions marching in and blah blah blah. But in hindsight it doesn't really check out because the legend is clearly older than the Roman invasion. So not sure how that was supposed to have happened then. Of course there's like the chance that like the Roman invasion influenced the whole thing, right? In hindsight, you know how like various stories get like influenced by whatever's going on at the time, right? Oral history, you know. But we know that the story itself, at its core, is older than that, right? Ooh, a history book. What the hell? Why is there capture on an Amazon link? The Dark Queens. The bloody rivalry? That forged the medieval world.
Okay, sorry.
Hello.
Hello. All right, so yes, so you were talking about logistics, and Elfnoth saying you don't want to come with me, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, so you have no idea what his reaction is to you, other than to just say that he seems unhappy about it, but also obviously he has no real say in it.
Do not give a shit
yeah, exactly.
that he's unhappy.
Exactly.
Runsild and I could neither give less of a shit of what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah. So the idea is that Runsild, Guy, and one second.
Yasib.
Wait. Where's my?
Because I think you said it was Yasib.
Yeah. It's Yasib Ibn Galib. And now Elfnas are gonna venture into the cave, and hope to, at very least, figure out where the beast might have taken Edgar.
And Yasib actually pulls you aside briefly and says, "You know that this man cannot be trusted. If he has the chance, he will either stab us in the back or escape. What does his presence give us?"
Bait?
And he nods slowly and he says,
And she says that quietly enough so that he doesn't hear.
Right.
Like
bait? And he says, he says, "It is a hard fate."
Well, he has a chance to redeem himself. I mean, what were the people gonna do with him locked up the entire time? Like, either let him rot in a room or get rid of him, right? So let's give him a chance to maybe re-earn his place, you know?
He nods slowly and he says, "All right. But I would keep him in front of me and not behind.
Oh yeah, that's a plan, definitely.
And he nods and steps off. Okay, so Yasib and Guy and you and Elfnoth, those are the ones that you want to head over. What are you telling the rest of your followers? Genevieve,
Yes.
Rickmod, Mundir.
Yeah, Genevieve and Rickmod are supposed to stay back at the house because they are clearly not fighter types.
Okay.
I think I'll have even Mundir placed at the tower with some of the crew.
Okay.
Oh, maybe actually together with Genofefa. Like these two at the tower. Because there is a chance that we might be chasing the beast through like the tunnels out to the surface.
Okay.
Or the beast might try to escape. So I want them to be placed basically on top of the ruins.
Okay.
And like start tossing stones and shit onto it. And also make sure that every group basically has a war horn. And then, like, if you blow this 3 times, this means, oh, the monster is here.
Okay.
Oh, let's make this 2. Two times is enough. And if it's blown 3 times, it means stay the fuck away. Like, two times, come here where the horn is blaring from, and 3 times, stay as far as fuck away.
Okay. And you have them positioned, positioned, as you say, next to the tower, and then looking down, right? Is that the theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like basically on top of the walls, right? That was like an option. Like the walls are very thick, right?
Yes.
So they should be able to lay low on there.
Okay.
Keep a lookout. Oh, and also, only attack the monster if it seems to be in a hurry. Like if it seems to be running. Like if it's just like leisurely walking around, that means that it's not being chased by us. So like don't like stay hidden in that case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Make sure
reasonable.
everybody has spears. And yeah, how late is it anyway?
Right now it is probably close to midday, you would guess.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's what you would guess.
Ooh, actually, since we have then that many hours time, I want folks to gather firewood, like for example from the broken boat.
Okay.
And basically build a pyre around the cave opening at the tower. And if the monster should come through, set it on fire. Like
okay.
basically drench that thing in like tar or alcohol or whatever we have at hand.
Okay.
Should have tar, right, on the ship. Need tar for a ship. To like basically, assuming it doesn't like fire, even if it can't be permanently harmed, it's probably
right.
not a fan. So yeah, if the monster should come through, make a fire.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm also trying to get this thing uploaded that was already uploaded and it's not showing up now. So bear with me while I try to deal with nonsense from Roll20. All right. Really?
Not working. Computer says no.
It's just obnoxious. Like I think it's really it's a problem with Roll20 more than a problem with.
Gee, it has been working so well today. I don't know what.
Yeah, I know. It's been perfect. Yeah, seriously.
Ah.
Okay, maybe in there. Ah, okay. Wait, that might work better actually.
Yes.
There we go.
Riveting TV here.
Okay,
people.
yeah, I know. Sorry. Right. Okay. So that should take care of that. I want to make sure that I have the right thing with that. Okay, that's off. That's on.
Wax on,
Wax on, wax off. Okay, and then we do that. And we do this.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Roll20, come on, work with me. Okay, right, lovely. Okay, so now we can finish up with that, and we're good to go. So, all right. So all the things that you mentioned, you're able to set up without too much difficulty. And
well, like, I would instruct them to just like go set up the fire thing. We would like set out immediately, basically.
Okay, while they're doing that. Okay.
Yeah, and like would bring a spare rope
Okay.
to have like to go down on at the cave entrance
Mm-hmm.
on the cliff.
Okay.
And leave that there. And yeah, like a few of the crew members be stationed there.
Okay.
With an additional horn. And yeah, basically, I guess after eating and drinking something, go ahead.
Okay. So, having set up the followers and all of the various instructions, are you, besides Elfnoth, everyone else you're leaving, everyone who's like from the island, you're leaving back there as well? The rest of the crew? Not the crew, the island residents?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess the safest for them is to stay at the hall. Where else would they go?
Okay.
Like, just sail off the island, I guess. But,
okay. All right.
yeah.
That's fine.
Actually, now that I think about it, since it's like still noon, maybe, yeah, if like we are not back by nightfall or close to nightfall, like we would basically, oh yeah, sign if the monster is dead 4 times on the horn.
Right.
So like in case like night is about to fall, that like people sail out onto the sea and only return after daybreak.
Okay.
Which would like include the islanders, unless they want to stay behind. Like I'm assuming that maybe Frithgar might want to stay behind
Right.
with the tower guys.
Right.
So yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think that sounds like a plan.
Okay.
One that is totally not gonna fall apart. It seems.
Okay. Yeah. The islanders for themselves. I mean, other than the fact that the Caro doesn't want to kind of, as I said, look in your direction. But otherwise, everyone responds to your commands. You think is pretty much as well as you could expect, and obviously your folks do that. And so you travel to the edge of the cliff and then begin to descend again. Now, and I assume you're doing that, right? You're going to go down the same stairs that you did before. So I will need you to
bring some torches that will light as soon as we are down.
Yep. So I'll need you to make that dexterity check again for me, and it can be acrobatics is fine as you're going down those stairs.
Acrobatics. That's a 17.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So you're able to make it with no difficulty.
Yeah, and like also like secured with a rope. Like let's not forget.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're able to make it down without much difficulty, and you find yourself again facing this same area that I mentioned before, this cave entrance, looking inside. When you go in and you light the torches that you previously mentioned, two things. First of all, as a quick note, the light does not do a whole lot to illuminate. It does make it so you can see your steps in front of you, but there seems to be very little that could actually pierce this kind of gloom. But that said, it does give you enough light at least to be able to walk by. Second, Elfnoth seems quite agitated at all of this, and seems like not interested in, going any further. I'm fully aware you don't care about that, but Elfnoth is very much like sort of shivering and kind of, like every body language bit that you could imagine is basically saying to go the other way. You can just feel the sort of almost waves of fear coming from him, reflecting what's felt down in that cave.
Yeah, basically, so as we start walking into the cave and he's like starting to be a little bitch again, Runselt was calmly walk next to him. So you realize I'm giving you a chance here, right? Like, that your other two options would be to either rot away in a hole for the rest of your life or be killed outright. What I'm giving you here is a chance to earn your freedom. It's up to you if you take it.
And he pauses and then says, "Hold on, I need to talk to someone. I'm sorry, Tari, it's the house stuff. I'm sorry."
Yep. Right. Where were we earlier? Let me think. Oh, we were talking about that one book. Dark Queen's Bloody Rivalry. So what is this about? Brunhild was a foreign princess raised to be married off for the sake of alliance building. Her sister-in-law, Fredegund, started out as a lowly palace slave. And yet, in 6th century Merovingian France, where women were excluded from noble succession, oh, I think he's back.
I am back. Sorry about that. Okay.
Brack is back.
Back again. Okay, so he says, if I could have just been left to leave this cursed island in the first place, then this wouldn't have been a problem. I would have been out of everyone's hair.
Well, that plan didn't work out, so, which was deservedly so.
And he kind of sighs.
And
heavily.
Basically what she's trying to do is intimidate him into
right
playing along. Don't know if it's working. Do I get to roll anything?
So far it feels like what you're doing is persuading more than intimidating, which is fine. But you tell me, if you want to angle it more towards intimidation, it would be you'll answer, swear to me, type of thing.
Swear to me.
Yeah.
Let me think. I guess it would be persuasion, now that you say it. At least from her end, she's actually doing a pretty kind thing, even if she's trying to fuck him off.
So go ahead and do a persuasion check for me.
Oh, 21.
Yeah, so he, you sort of, you make your case, and he kind of... Fine. I'm no hero, but at the very least, I'll try to get as far as I can. But once this is over, I want off this island.
Fine by me. The thing is, I'm not expecting you to be a hero here, right? Just keep your eyes peeled and share whatever knowledge you have with us. I'm not expecting you to take this monster on one-on-one.
And he nods. He says, "All right. Nothing else has been able to stand against it.
Well, now I'm here.
That's true. And then he walks a few more steps and he says, "You don't think you're going to find the boy alive, do you?"
I'm not optimistic, but we have to try, right?
And he nods and he says, "Maybe. Not that his mother would care, but the boy wasn't a bad sort."
He really wasn't. Now keep your eyes and ears peeled.
And he nods. One thing to note about this as you're walking down this tunnel, Runesild, and that is twofold.
Oh, wait,
First of all,
wait. If there's any like forks in the tunnel,
there are not.
She would. Oh, okay.
No forks. In fact, it's not straight, but it's very like
just
unidirectional.
Like,
it's like one, yeah. There's a couple things. First of all, you can hear as you're walking down here into the earth, and I think actually I need to play my cave sound. There we go. You can hear what can only be described as the earth itself, like groaning almost from the weight above you, because the tunnel is sloping downwards, and it runs for hundreds of yards. In fact, it's long enough to kind of be disorienting, and after a while you wonder how long exactly you have been walking. The air feels thicker as the tunnel slopes downward, and the scent of the sea is replaced by an older, dustier smell. And eventually, as you go down, you can see the platform, the passage ahead of you is widening. And you find yourselves...
Dungeon!
You could say that, but actually...
It's very pixely on my end.
It's probably just loading.
Yeah.
As you walk into it, you can see a pattern on the floor in front of you. This is a chamber that is a huge chamber, probably maybe 100 feet across, if you had to guess, Runesild. And its roof is held up as you get closer to it. You can see that its roof is held up by 4 pillars of great stone that appear to be...
of eternity?
Say again? Yeah, exactly. You hear da 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 da. Well, that's an eye opener, no mistake. No, it's not Moria. But
no, Pillars of Eternity.
Oh yes, Pillars of Eternity. Sorry, I was thinking Tolkien. Yes, no, it is not. It is also not the Obsidian video game known as Pillars of Eternity. No, these are 4 regular natural stone pillars, from what you can tell. And but they appear to be, if anything, maybe stalactites and stalagmites that have sort of met over the aeons, if you had to guess. But although it is a natural cavern, you can see that there is definitely some human-made material that's been sort of added to this. First of all, the pillars, you can see just from the side here, and I guess I should bring your characters over here. Where are we? Right here. Let me bring over... I'm just going to pick up your token. Bring you over to here. Oh, you already did it. All right. I was about to bring a second one, but now I see it. So you can see that some kind of rot seems to have eaten away the stone pillars, and they frankly look kind of, fairly unstable. There are these holes that you can actually see that are woven right through the pillars, so it does not look super stable. But in the center of the chamber is what appears to be a group of 4 standing stones. Each stone is attached to an enormous iron chain, and each link of that chain looks to be probably the length of your arm, Runesild, if you were to guess. These are enormous links. And the end of each of these chains is attached to a broken iron arm ring, and the arm ring itself is like 2 hand spans across. Like it's an enormous iron ring, each of these rings. And they seem to have been forcibly broken. And inside the circle, you can see that the floor is carved with the same pattern that may be familiar to you from something else that you have. And in the center of this place is a hollow. It is littered with fresh and bloody bones. And as you get closer, that stench that I mentioned is getting stronger and stronger as you get closer. Finally, this is not an unoccupied chamber. There are 2 things here. One of them you see is lying up against one of the pillars. It is Edgar's body. You can see that he has only his leather pants and shoes on. His tunic is gone. And he is lying there. He looks cut and bruised, and he's unmoving. You don't know whether that means that he is unconscious or whether it means that he's dead. But his back is turned to you, and he's kind of leaned up against the pillar. And then, in the middle of the hollow, lying amongst the bones and the slaughter, and snoring, is the great monster that you've seen before, lying in the midst of the slaughter.
Okay.
So yes.
What I would have liked to happen
Yes.
is that as soon as she would have like noticed the tunnel opening up and like realizing, oh, there's a chamber behind, that she would have snuck ahead alone without the other guys
Okay.
to like scout this
That's
out.
fine.
You know, not just like la la la, we are adventurers
Right.
coming in here.
Well, that
Don't
works
mind us.
perfectly then, because because then she's up there by her lonesome. So that works perfectly.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't like, you know, walk like a billion kilometers without her guys. Just like, oh, there's an opening. You guys wait here until I call for you, and then yeah, sneak ahead. Right. Is there any light source here besides my torch?
Oh yes, Big Boss asked the real question: does this creature have tiny hands? It does not. It has very
That's
sizable
how it was
ones.
able to break free. Like was just able to.
Yeah,
plop
just
out
like
of
slip out. Yeah.
like in Roger Rabbit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there any other light sources here beside my torch?
No. And your torch is only just illuminating it. The flickering sort of light just kind of, you can see wild shadows cast across the chamber from your torches.
Okay, in that case, she would gently lay her torch down on the floor.
Okay.
And like wait a moment. Like I'm assuming that her eyes have like by now gotten used to the dark, right? And like only working with like torchlight, right?
Yes, I would think so.
You also have dark vision. No.
Yeah, and any of these things that I described, by the way, including the walls of the chamber, anything else, you could investigate more closely. This thing is obviously asleep at the moment.
Yes. Okay, so what I would like to attempt is to sneak. Wait, the pen tool, like around here. And check on the boy.
Okay, I would need a stealth check, please.
Does my armor give me disadvantage on sneaking? Wait, what kind of armor am I wearing again? Does it say?
If you're wearing chainmail like the drawing says, then you'd have disadvantage on stealth.
No, it's like something else. I just drew it as chainmail because what else would it be? It's the early Middle Ages / migration period. It's gonna be chainmail or nothing. Do I not have written down what kind of armor she's wearing? God damn it. Idiot. I don't have the fucking thing open, the book. I don't know where I've saved either, the PDF.
Let's see if I can find. So...
I do have the helmet written down. Why do I not have the armor written down? Does she just not have armor? She doesn't have armor.
It's possible. The helmet.
Right, I just like drew her with armor even though she doesn't have any besides her helmet. Because I had to choose. I didn't have enough money.
Right, because you had that. So then you have just like a chainmail. What do they pronounce? Coif? Coif?
What?
Like the the chainmail that drapes over the head.
Yeah. It's like part of her helmet.
Yeah.
But like it's yeah. She okay. So she doesn't get disadvantage on her sneaking.
No, in that case, no.
Okay. Stealth.
For those of you watching at home, that was not one but two critical ones.
Right, I'm gonna go.
What's that?
What's
that look like as you move around past the pillars?
Okay, so what I would like to imagine is that she's like almost there, right?
Yeah.
And then she kicks a pebble with like the right side of her right foot.
Yep.
With the outside of her, and that one goes straight into the pit where the monster is sleeping.
Yep. And what it does is it hits the pit and then bangs into a couple of rocks, which bang into a couple of others. So it's like, and so eventually this big like hits his body.
No. Like, okay, no, way better, right? Like, It's just that pebble, and then it's silent for like a horribly long moment, right? Like the moment that could be an eternity, but it's just a few seconds actually, and then there's like this noise and movement coming out of the pit from the monster.
Yep. As the thing you hear. And as the monster rises from the depression in the ground, Edgar, you can see, sort of stirs and then kind of looks over at you, and he looks badly, beaten and beat up and cut, and he says, "He's going to kill both of us." And that's going to bring our session to a close for today. Which means, and the reason is because I don't want to start a combat right towards the end of this. If you had stealthed it, we could have figured it out another way. That, however...
I mean, if you want to do that, I'm perfectly fine with just continuing.
I'm sure that is the case. Oh, yes,
like
and since I did this the other way, you know how I made him really small when he gained off the land, so he just gets bigger and bigger. No, just kidding.
He's not in the water right now. He's not a gummy bear.
He's like, he's alive. Well, so it's going to be you and Edgar versus the big monster. But
well,
you
the
have
other guys are like one round running away from us.
Let's hope so. Let's hope that is the case. I'm just giving you a hard time. That probably is true.
Are you?
But it means that... Am I really? But it means that you've got this guy that you're going to have to deal with, and it means we'll have a really fun combat, which will definitely be the conclusion of the Hermit Sanctuary, starting out this next one. It'll be the conclusion one way or the other. It will be good that you've got the Serpent's Cross, I think. And that may have some effect on the creature. We will see. But you'll have to think outside the box. Maybe something about environmentally or whatever. There's things you might be able to think about doing to help with this. But the boy does complicate things. It is true, as boys often do. I think we can all agree. Can often complicate things.
I know, right, boys?
We just exactly. That's totally.
Men, am I right?
That's totally rude, so. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I apologize to Tari and to chat the fact that I had to be in and out a lot over the last half hour or so because of the house stuff. I'm sorry, that will not be the issue next session. I apologize unreservedly.
But that you need to let me redo that still.
Yeah, sure. If anything, I was like distracted, so you should have been able to, get past like all these things, and you'll see. The monster's secretly an activist for climate change, so you can use the environment to your advantage. That's fair enough. But
and he's gonna come for me because I killed the raven. Otherwise, he would have like let me live. I see.
That, by the way, was a highlight for me. I really enjoyed today watching as you were
killing innocent animals.
Yeah, the part where you slice the raven, I feel like we're right near. Isn't it Earth Day today, or coming up on Earth Day? So I feel like it was a perfect example. No, no, I loved the image of you of Runesild like crawling out on that branch, and you immediately were like, that's a nest. You know, you're immediately like, that's like a bird nest that this thing is hanging from. And that this raven would have been this thing that would have taken the things. You have to actually get that first without dropping into the ocean, without falling yourself, you know, all of that. And then you had a decision that you had to make about what you wanted to do with the boy. And I also wanted to say that I don't know if you felt this way, you can tell me, but it did feel that Runesild does feel a connection to Edgar, that she feels bad that Edgar himself may be at risk because Edgar really admired her and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, and
she loves it when children die. That's like her
right,
second
sure, of course.
Well,
well, it's about it's about protecting him. And Corneo, you know, Corneo's reaction to that was interesting, right? Because Corneo obviously is kind of like sorry about her boy, but there was going to come a point where being on an island with a monster, there were going to be an issue. Oh, sorry, Caro, I beg your pardon. Not Corneo. Caro. What's up, Stump-O-Matic? I haven't seen you for ages. What's going on, Stump? Thank you for the 12 months. Thank you for the 1 year of subscription. Thank you, Stump. I hope all is well. Yes, Corneo is what I meant to say. So she really, obviously is worried about her kid. And so her anger obviously was not for you. But nonetheless, it means you got a lot you have to deal with regarding this. So it'll be interesting to see how you handle this fight deep in the bowels of the earth of the island. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
This was a lot of fun. I'm always a bit worried going up to these games because, like, oh god, I'm the only player. Like, I don't have any other party members to like pick up the slack when I'm like out of my brain. Which happens a lot, sadly. Yay! Depression and neurodivergence bullshit. Anyway, I'm glad that I managed to just get right back into it.
Yeah.
It's very good. Just like once I'm in the zone, you know?
Yes.
It's like when it gets good.
And Runesild is like a bright colors character, right?
Oh yeah,
like
she definitely is a broad.
You know, she's a broad. No, she's very much like a bright colors character, right? Like she's very much like a strong, like not a very like I'm very quiet and like that's not.
Oh, she's so much
you know
fun.
What I mean? Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Definitely.
Like, over ambitious, over eager go-getters.
Yes.
Like those are the most fun to play. It's like a thing. Like once I like realized that in my long years of playing tabletop RPGs. That like the most fun characters to play are the ones who like are really invested and just go and try shit even if it might fail.
Yep.
It's like every party needs at least one of those types of characters. Like it really helps to move things along.
No, it's true, and because we're talking about a duet system where a hero like this, it is the age of heroes. There's enough sort of like from the follower stuff, like from Genevieve and from some of the others who are just kind of like, you got to take it easy with some things and all that. But they also admire her sort of forward thinking and her confidence. And also, if she can get to level 2, like she's probably going to be more effective the more powerful she gets, which may seem obvious. But by that, I mean like her particular play style of like rushing in where angels fear to tread. Like the part today where you're just kind of like, I just stand up. I'm like, right, that'll be a con saving throw. You're like, oh yeah, I have 1 hit point and I have a level of exhaustion because I just got my freaking ass beat in by this creature. That almost killed me. I was like, yes, remember that moment? So I feel like there'll be more as she becomes more literally tanky. It'll be easier to play that way. But yeah, and I'm interested to see what you're going to do with this thing. I love this map, by the way. I'm a big fan of this image of the Serpent's Cross in the middle, the manacles there. With the, I really like it. It's cool. So, and yes, we have to do chat chosen game of the month nominations once Tari signs off. Yes. Thank you for the reminder.
No, I need to nominate something.
Because
like we like always talk about certain games like, oh my god, you have to play this. And there was like one game that Radical Dreamers. I'm nominating Radical Dreamers if I may. So
Radical Dreamers. Is that
The Chrono Cross.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Or did you already do that?
No.
Since then. No. Okay.
No?
Good. No. Because I think you would like that, and I think it's good to stream too.
Radical Dreamers.
This might even be fun to do with the voice actors to do.
Standard
Because, like, none of it is
standard JRPG-ish, basically.
No, it's a text adventure basically.
Oh.
Well, it has some graphics, but like most of it is like told through text basically. It has
Interesting.
Minimalist graphics.
Okay. All right, so we will have to remember to nominate that.
I don't want to call it a visual novel because it has too little on the visual end going on.
Okay.
It's like somewhere halfway in between a text adventure and a visual novel, if you want.
Okay. Cool. No, I will check. It's on Steam.
And it's really short too.
Is it on Steam?
It's part of the. It's on the Switch. I know. I don't know if it's on Steam.
Okay.
It's
Switch is
part
fine.
of the Chrono Cross HD re-release that came out like a few months ago.
Well, so what I was going to
spoke
say was,
about.
if you want, that's the kind of thing that maybe we could save and put up for our vocalists. That might
would be awesome for our vocalist. You would need 3 voices, assuming that you would do like the narration and search.
Mm-hmm. So
Then
we
you
could
would
do
need
that
somebody
after.
to voice Kid and one to voice Magus and one for the villains, I guess.
So if we're going to do that, then I mean that, because once we finish the Banner Saga 3, which we're playing tonight actually, then that would be the next one up, and that would be, if it's short, we could do that in a session or two. So maybe let's save that. Let's not nominate that for this. Let's save that for our vocalists. But please don't let me forget that.
I think you would want to play that one.
Yeah. No, I don't want to forget
show.
it. So let me remember that. I put a little note to myself, hopefully, so I can remember that going forward. All right, where will the lovely folks see you next, Tari?
At some point on another Tuesday here on the channel next month. For either first the next session of Beowulf, or for the next session of our Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes, the Fighting Fantasy
streams.
Slaves of the
Fighting
Abyss.
Fantasy.
Yes.
Right, Slaves of the Abyss is what we were doing right now.
Yep.
Which is always a lot of fun. And a very unique type of stream.
Yes.
I might add.
I do not see that anywhere else on Twitch, literally. Like I don't see anyone else doing that.
Well, I have seen other recordings of like, but it's like super rare, like, right?
Right.
It's like
and not usually much with a live audience
none
watching.
of them feature me.
And none of right. I mean, mostly rare because none of them have you in it. So exactly right.
So yeah, do check that out. That would be at the same time as today.
Yep.
Just different Tuesday.
Yep.
It's always Tuesdays at 6 p.m. for me. Central European blah time. Now it's summertime. I don't know. It's time zones. Check the calendar. The channel calendar. And besides that, people can follow me on Tumblr and on Blue Sky and on Instagram, where I either just post nonsense or my drawings. For like, you're gonna get the full breadth of my nonsense if you follow my main blog on Tumblr, Tari's Backyard. If you just want the art, just follow me at TariToons and on any of the 3 platforms that I just mentioned. Various drawings of things, gaming, fan art, original character designs, game development stuff for a certain pen and paper game that I've been developing. It's a bit on ice right now because there's just like so much number crunching. Which I hate, so it's going very, very slow. But yeah, for Beasties in my bag.
Which I remain excited for when it does come out.
Yes. Go follow me there. Currently the obsession is Metal Gear Solid. So been drawing a bunch of stuff for that. Been working on something earlier when our texted me and was like, hey, we have a stream today. I was like, right, it's Tuesday. We have a stream today. I need to go eat something.
Yes, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. And I am, as always, really grateful, Tari. I'm looking forward to this climactic final battle of the Hermit Sanctuary. And I'm excited for more Slays of the Abyss illustrations. So
yes,
we will see both of those. And chat, can we get some love for the amazing TariToons? And Tari, I will speak to you online and stuff soon, actually.
Très bien.
Thank you as always, Tari.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Au revoir. Sayonara. Bye.
All right. So good stuff out of Tari, and good stuff in the Beowulf game as well. It was nice to get back in the saddle for this, and I am interested to see how that final monster fight is going to